Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another multi-stream event here at Football First, centred by and surrounded by, I was about to say Football Inc. It's not Football Inc. It's First Talk Show, and it is Talking Tottenham 1882. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Another day, another frustrating affair with regards to Tottenham transfer news, but we're here to talk all about it. There's some other things going on in the world of football as well, which Jonny and I wanted to get off our chest. Plus, we want to introduce some private public leagues for the predictions for Tottenham, for Talking Tottenham 1882. So we can get to that as well. We've got all the comings and goings around the market. And if Jonny doesn't mind, I'm dropping this on him right now, but given that there's not that much huge amount of new news to talk about in the grand scheme of things, I wouldn't mind throwing a little bit of time, Jonny, towards maybe doing a tier maker session where we rank the Premier League's transfer windows thus far and see how everyone's doing. I'm going to
I'm up for that.
Accounts. We'll do that towards the end of the show. How are you, Jonny? Good to see you. You okay?
Yeah, all good. I was dragged shopping yesterday, Mrs.'s birthday. Very painful affair. I'm now over it. Listen, look, I got to be honest with you right now. I can't remember so much excitement at the beginning of a transfer window that has just melted away to almost getting to the point of anger, that we are left dangling at the edge of a cliff, holding on by our fingernails, bidding for players, Sean, that it seems nobody else in the market is interested in. And I asked the question, are we bidding against ourselves? What are we doing here? What are we doing? It just feels desperate, and it's made me angry. I've got to be honest with you. It's really pissed me off. Fucking angry. No, it has. No, it has. It's pissed me off. And I mean, why in what fucking planet, in what world is Savinho worth 85 million? I mean, it doesn't say Spurs are going to pay 85 million. It says that Manchester City value him at 85 million. Well, I'm sorry. There's not a world where he's worth 85 million pounds. There comes a point where, you have to walk away. I feel like we're in a bidding for something that no one else is in the room. And I joked before that we got two other people.
You got Vinay holding
Vinay and Johan. Right? Because they've all got separate agendas.
Yeah.
How much have you got? You got 70? Hang on a minute. Hello, Vinay, I got a bid of 70 on the other end of the phone. Right. Hang on. 75.
Yeah.
But look, the thing is, right, he's not worth 85 mil. Come on, he's not. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Savinho's a terrible player. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm just saying, I heard arguments, people say, yeah, but we paid 85 million for Matheus Fernandes. But Matheus Fernandes has played and played and played, yeah? And we've seen his talent, and he's playing regular.
For him, right?
But, maybe you could make the bid. Who else came in for Tonali? Absolutely no one.
Well, there's rumours that City were in, and rumours that are
rumours. There were rumours. But look, I'm not even going to mention those two. The crux of the matter is, if Cody Gakpo is that good, why are Liverpool looking to upgrade? Why are we paying £70 million for a player that Liverpool don't want, a team that we aspire to get near to, who are looking to upgrade for better players? And who are those better players? Bradley Barcola and the other guy from PSG. And so I asked the question, should we be going for a higher caliber of player? And why are we the only ones in for Gakpo? Why are we the only ones in for Silva? There has to be a question for that. Why aren't we scouting? And then I hear the same thing again. Oh yeah, but we need Prem proven. Gakpo wasn't Prem proven before he came to the
every single foreign player in this bloody league, unless they came through the youth academy, which rarely they do, every single player that is not from here comes through and then becomes a Premier League player before they are Prem proven.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's the chicken and the egg. It's the chicken and the egg, right? And look at people like if we can't take a quick lesson from Solis going to Arsenal and being their standout contributor in their preseason, getting 2 assists in the community shield, 35 mil from the Waffle League.
Yeah.
Like what is Belgium? It's the 8th or 9th. I think it's below the championship in terms of like
standout player for Club Bruges all season. Standout.
Yeah,
I think 24 assists. 24.
Thiago did really well when he left there. You know the who's the centre back there at the moment who's just gone somewhere else. We were talking about him all last season. That guy's going to do fabulous as well because they've just got a good habit of people of transition. But my point being that if like there was some sort of dead set line in the stand, we only want Prem proven players. Why? Well, because we know that they're going to do well in the Premier League. At some point, you need to look at the people that have done better than you. And as much as it kills me to say it, Arsenal have done better and recognise that they haven't gone down that path. And it's immediately shown to have some resolve. And a little reminder, again, like every single non-Prem proven player becomes Prem proven after coming here from somewhere else and then makes it. Not every player makes it. Not every player doesn't. But to your point, to the wider point regarding Gakpo and Savinho specifically, they're clearly Tottenham's targets, right? Whether we get them or we don't get them, with the injury to Jeremy Doku now, it looks like it's even more difficult for them to justify letting him go at a reasonable price. It's now going to be like degrees of unreasonable prices that we're talking about. I wouldn't be surprised if, given that news, they'll turn around and say, yeah, 95 million quid or something ridiculous like that. And again, for those people that I said this all day yesterday, for those people that say it's not my money, I don't care. But even you lot would have there'll be a line in the sand whereby you would say that's too much money, right? At some point, it's too much money for everybody. My point being, though, Johnny, to your point around, like, we're buying the rejects of the teams that we're trying to emulate. If we are trying to close the gap on Arsenal, Liverpool, United, City, Chelsea to some degree, are we doing that by buying their rejects, overpaying, and then allowing them to pay off the vast majority of the asking price for the person that's clearly better? Or Correct. Is the gap just going to get wider? And more importantly, then as a Tottenham fan, if you guys are still on board Tottenham signing Cody Gakpo and Savinho, regardless of the money, should your expectations be dialed into the reality that we are buying players from the better teams that they no longer deem worthy of keeping, and they are then taking that money, adding a little bit more, and getting players that are deemed to be better than those players that we're getting? If the gap gets wider, can you realistically still expect Tottenham to be able to finish in the top 5 next year if we're buying the rejects of the teams that occupy those spaces already?
Exactly my point. Exactly my point, Sean. You know, why can't we look for the stars of tomorrow? I've got nothing against buying Prem-proven players. But, you know, if you look, for me, you walk away at 85 million. You do not entertain 85 million pound. Okay, that's the way I look at it. Right, rightly or wrongly, that's the way I look at it. But I just think, you know, we want to aspire to be up there with Liverpool, with the Chelseas and the likes. But we are looking to buy players that do not fit. I mean, Gakpo, you could argue, because he's playing right now. And he wants to leave. Savinho's hardly got minutes. He's hardly got anything. He got 880 minutes last year, 1 goal, 2 assists. That does not make 85 million pound in anyone's language. Okay, so you have to be creative. So you have to look for a player. You're not telling me there's not a single player in Europe that can stack up to Savinho. I'm sorry, there is. There are players out there that I would rather take more of a risk on. You're not going to tell me as well that Savinho isn't a risk.
I think a lot of people are misinterpreting what you're saying. You didn't mean like going for young, unknown players again.
No,
you just mean go for players that have proven themselves but haven't necessarily proven themselves in the Premier League.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Solis isn't a star for tomorrow. Solis is a star for today. He's proven himself in the
100%.
different league. He hasn't proven himself in the Premier League yet. I think that's
Correct.
what you're saying, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%, guys. Right. Sorry if you misconstrued what I'm saying. Yeah, there are players who Solis, as you know, I know one of the guys who's involved with Belgium TV, and we've been talking about Solis now for just over a year, and it's a standout player, talented player. Igor Thiago came from Club Brugge as well. There are players out there. Okay. All I'm saying is that if you get forced into a situation where you've got to pay 85 million for uncertainty and you don't know what you're going to get, let's be honest, we don't know what we're going to get because Man City don't know what they're going to get. They haven't seen it in a City shirt. So what makes us think that we're going to get value for money? And before you say it, it's not my money. I don't give a shit about the money. All I care about is that we end up with money left over. Imagine paying the money for Gakpo and for Savinho, and then they turn around to us, the board, and say, well, we didn't have enough money to go and get a 9, right? Because we overpaid for Savinho. That's the other thing. But
this is I don't want today's show to be a rinse repeat. Obviously, like there's a lack of sort of new updates for Tottenham. There are some new updates though. Lyle Thomas has come out and said that Tottenham. Let me get the specific quote up here.
Is that the Standard guy? No,
that's the other guy. That's Lyle Thomas is of Sky Sports.
Oh, Curtis Jones. Yeah.
Well, we'll come back to Lyle Thomas in a second. But weren't Tottenham trying to sign Curtis Jones? Bugsy, shut up! Weren't Tottenham trying to pay something like 50 million euros, 60 million euros for wasn't the conversation around Curtis Jones to Tottenham in January? And wasn't the number that was mooted around at around a lot more than 35 million euros, which is again what
underestimated player. I think he's underestimated. I think he's a good player.
It's just again, not to put all the pressure on just Tottenham. We're talking about Tottenham here, but one of the sort of takes that I feel like has been necessary to kind of impart is that it's not just a difficult window for Tottenham. It is a difficult window for everybody. And when we talk about, just to play devil's advocate, when we talk
you're
about
chasing strikers, 100%.
Well, but when we're talking about the price, like, was it an acceptable fee for Jed Spence to go to Inter? Was it an acceptable fee for Romero to go for where he's going? Obviously, I would make the argument that Romero has done more and proven himself higher than Curtis Jones has in world football. But I would say that Curtis Jones and Jed Spence, there's a debate. And I think you probably make the argument that Curtis Jones is a more fulfilled, certainly more successful footballer. And he's only joining Inter Milan for 35 million euros. So is the argument here that I'm going to go and close the door. I'll let you talk because she's winding me up. But is the argument here that that it's not just Tottenham that are necessarily getting underpayments from overseas, but there's just an understanding in football that if you're selling outside of the Premier League, you are not going to get anything like the money that you would do if you sold within the league and therefore bolster your competition?
Yeah, I mean, Italy are definitely near the bottom of the pile for having money. Germany's probably got more money. Spain probably as well have got more money to spend. But look, what I'm saying is top clubs do top scouting. How do you think Igor Thiago ended up, or Rayan ended up at Bournemouth? It's not a secret that I'm a massive fan of Saïd Mala. How did I find him? Just through Football Inc. It was only through Football Inc. that I found Saïd Mala. So you look at him and you see him, and then you see he scored again. And, a bit like what's his name? Francesco Leone, right? That player. But, Saïd Mala is just 20 years of age at the end of this month. And, 13 goals. Left foot, right foot, 6'2", powerful. If I'm going to take a risk, I'd be taking a 50 million euro risk on that rather than what we're doing right now. And, are we going to be left at the Garden Gate again, Sean? We did it with Semenyo. We did it with Eze, okay? And we did it with Morgan Gibbs-White. I hoped that we had learnt a lesson. And at the start of this window, I thought, yeah, look, Spurs are doing it. They've learnt their lesson. They're moving quick, right? They're paying the money. They're paying the wages. They're doing everything. But when it gets stuck when it gets stuck and you're not moving anywhere with all of these, we've agreed personal terms, we've done this, we've agreed this, we've agreed that, but we're not moving anywhere. And Deserby's team kick off in 3 days' time, and he's got that attack. You know,
Yeah.
we're doing him a disservice, we're doing the club a disservice, and the fans are getting shortchanged. If that window closes and we don't deliver any of these players or any of those now, and we get fed some bullshit line, at least we tried, that will sound like ENIC 1.0.
Yeah, I think listen, I think the conversation I've been hearing recently on the guests that I have on your show, on other podcasts that are going on, it does feel like there's a lot of people that are suddenly starting to challenge and question this narrative that ENIC 2.0 is anything more than a rebrand. You know, I said this from October, right? And a lot of people just say, "Oh, you're bitter about Levy or whatever." And again, people completely misrepresent or misunderstand or don't listen about whenever I've spoken about Daniel Levy. But I always called it lipstick on a pig, right? Because I do think there was just one giant PR machine that was trying to come in and paint over things. And as the summer started, it looked really promising. But let's be honest, it's been 7 weeks and there's been very little movement in the way of incomings. I know it's difficult, right? And by the way, let me bring this back into the screen here. Lyle Thomas is saying Tottenham's ideal end to the window is to sign three new forwards: Savinho, Cody Gakpo, and a new centre forward. Spurs had a bullish £200 million start to the window and want to end up with a flourish. The market just described to me as quote unquote mayhem by a top agent. And I feel like I said, I'm trying to kind of be balanced here, Johnny.
No, it's fine.
For us all to kind of just like pile in. I can see it in the chat. The pile on is going, towards it's a shit show. Nothing's changed. ENIC 2.0 is ENIC 1.0 with lipstick on a pig. And I said that, like I say, months ago. However, I do think it's worth pointing out that every fan base, there's not a single fan base in the top 6 that are happy. I watched LB stream yesterday, or his upload, and he was losing his mind about Manchester City. I've seen Arsenal fans that are losing their mind about not bringing in someone better than Martinelli. And Arsenal fans, they're going to walk the league this year. They're going to walk it because there's no viable competition. But they're thinking about bigger things. They're assuming that the league is taken care of, but they need the extra sprinkle to get over the final hurdle in the Champions League. There's levels to expectations. Manchester United fans, if you listen to Mark Goldbridge, every day he's calling it an absolute joke, an absolute disgrace. Liverpool fans aren't particularly impressed. Newcastle fans are like, continue.
Well, they're selling off, aren't they? They're selling off. I mean, Newcastle are losing people hand over fist. I mean, how much of that is to do with the fact that the Saudis are pulling out of a lot of sport right now, and there's a feeling that maybe they'll look to offload Newcastle. Eddie Howe, who seems to fall out with just about everybody. Three direct.
Let's not forget, mate, that they're a major investor into Clearlake and Todd Bowley and Powter. Yeah. I think it's Powter is the other guy's name. Suddenly want out of Clearlake. Why is that? Is that because the money's drying up from Clear? Because the PIF fund are no longer interested in being involved in that. They're pulling out. I think they're trying to get out of the golf fund, the live thing.
Trying to get out the golf. Yeah. I mean,
so look, a lot of people. There's a lot of geopolitical or sort of like macroeconomical factors that are going on. And maybe the money men around the world are looking at the risk reward in terms of the market and are saying it's bonkers. At the same time, though, Johnny, the market is mayhem. This is what Lyle Thomas is saying, and I completely agree. So, I think we have to just sort of sprinkle a little bit of reality dust onto our frustration and recognise that we'll come to it later on in the show when we do our.
Can I ask you, Sean? Sorry to interrupt here. Can I just say though? Oh, by the way, Jimbo and Kate, they call me Funtime Frankie at parties, so I'm very good at that. I just think Frankie. Listen, I just think that one of the glaring things I thought was wrong with this team right from the beginning, and I have said this to you, this isn't something I'm adding in now. We spoke about it a year ago that we felt if Spurs didn't dip in now to the transfer window last summer and buy attackers and strikers, we could pay the price in a year's time when we want to sign them. So fast forward a year, I thought the most crucial positions that we needed to tie in before any other was the attackers, right?
Yeah, you
I
did say that.
really did. I
Yeah, you did.
really did. And I've said it on numerous streams. And I just feel like now there are so many clubs, like you said, Liverpool looking to upgrade, Man United potentially looking for another striker, right? Arsenal looking for another striker. Let's be honest. If they don't get Julian Alvarez, who Atletico Madrid are trying to push him away from Barcelona, and he could end up there, or Victor Osimhen, we're out the running. We're out the running of those. So it's thin on the ground. I feel like had we jumped early into this market to get the attackers that we so desperately needed, we might have had a different outcome. I don't know. I think the defenders would still been there. I think Tonali would still been available. A couple of weeks after had we tied up a striker. But right now is a dearth that just is so dry. The market right now, and you speak to any Spurs fan, and you've mentioned Balogun, Jackson, they're. After you
The
feel
only
off,
names that universally every Tottenham fan would wet themselves over would be a Harry Kane reunion, which isn't
or
going
an
to happen,
Arsenal,
or an Osimhen, right? Everybody else, there's like even with Gakpo, with Savinho, they're the ones that Tottenham are going for. You've got half the fan base that are sitting there, probably more than half the fan base that are saying, just pay the money, whatever it is, we'll figure it out later. And there's an element of like, I completely understand that. It's a reasonable take. Again, it's not your money. Totally get it. As
yeah,
long as you're contemplating that, Tottenham's future is not just built on this season. And by the way, if you are subscribing to this notion that we just put out a second ago, that by trying to close the gap on the teams that are in the top 4 or 5, and your expectations are that Tottenham get back into Europe next season, if the approach to do that is to pay extraordinary money for essentially their second choice squad players, whether you rate them, whether or not Liverpool and Manchester City are more than okay with keeping those players because they don't dislike them, but they're still willing to sell if they can improve, and you're going to have to go and drop 75% of the money for their improvement. If they go and get that improvement, all other things being equal, obviously there's form, obviously there's fitness, obviously there's horses for courses, ratios and rationales. But generally speaking, you're not closing the gap on Liverpool and City if you are replacing, if you're getting their leftovers and then they're improving. So on that basis, Johnny, if you would agree with me on that, just on that basic sort of thought process, that logic train there for a minute, would you equally be of the mindset that because the market is so dry, rather than going and dropping 200 million quid on, or maybe 170 million quid or something like that on Gakpo and Savinho, and then still not having the striker role figured out, I don't think Tottenham are going to get relegated next season. I think we can still improve where we are, probably where we are, to maybe like 10th or 9th in the league. You do need to sprinkle in a lot more forwards to be able to get that, to close the gap on the guys that are 7th and above. But because the market is so dry, and if you go and participate in this bone dry market, you're going to need to wet the beak of these clubs for average to good players, but you're paying world-class money. Would it be better to just do enough to get through, and then hopefully the market loosens up a little bit? Not that January is any different. January is even more difficult. I don't necessarily agree. I'm just putting this out there. Is there any pause for thought around the market isn't worth it right now?
well, it's not worth it now. I mean, look, say for example, God forbid we paid 85 million for Savinho, and whatever happened, it was meh, right? It wasn't one way or the other, right? Where are we going with that? That's 85 million plus his wages, 5-year contract. If we're trying to move forward and he's not good enough for City, and if we are looking to progress up the table, where is he going to be? Where, what are we looking to recoup from a player paying 85 million? Another 25 mil, 30 mil if he doesn't work out at Spurs? Because then his reputation is shot. But he didn't work out at Man City. He didn't work out at Spurs. Where's the value there? I mean, it's not going to happen. But would you rather? I'd rather overpay for Bradley Barcola and get one player in than go for two. If I was brutally honest, because I think he's like a world-class player. I'm not saying Bradley Barcola would come to us over Liverpool. I'm just saying, or maybe there's a player at a club now. But look, having finished 17th twice in a row, even with De Zerbi, it's not the greatest pitch. Without De Zerbi, we wouldn't have got, probably half the players that we've got in, probably. I just think right now, I look at it and I think to myself, we had January last year, Johan Lang saying, we're waiting to improve the team in the summer. We didn't dive in now because we didn't want to waste money. In January, what did we need? Strikers. What did we need? Wingers. You've had months and months. You've had 8 months and you've delivered 0 in an attacking capacity. 0. And therefore, for me, it's unforgivable that we should be in this situation right now. And we got so desperate.
If the market is the market.
But we've allowed ourselves for the market to dictate that to us because we didn't act in January, because we didn't act last summer.
January, yeah, I agree with you. And last summer was obviously a chance.
Look, are you telling me that you thought Solanke and Richarlison were good enough last summer if you want to be top 4, top 5? That's my point.
No, and we're one injury away to an injury-prone player in Richarlison from having absolutely no strikers. Like, listen, I know some people in the chat are saying like it's so negative or repetitive. I mean, listen, we're in content. We can try and put on a a nice spin on it and say, don't worry, it's all golden. But I think that everyone who's getting a little bit sort of itchy feet and panicking have got reasons to feel, because I think also we're looking at the squad and assuming that the injury crises that we've faced for the last couple of years are not going to happen. But as it currently stands, mate, again, I don't want to get stuck back into the kind of the conversation. But as it stands, we've got an 18-year-old guy that was about to be loaned out to Germany, who played last season in Rangers, and he's one of our own, and he looked good against Hoffenheim for sure. First time I've really seen the sparkle from him that I was looking to see. I haven't seen it before. And we've got Matisse Tell. You know how I feel about it, but half the fan base is still determined to make out like he's dog shit, and that's fine if that's how you genuinely feel and it's not agenda-based. And then you've got Richarlison, who I think 90% of the fan base would probably be more than happy to see the back of, who is one injury away from having. What would we do if we woke up tomorrow morning and Richarlison has like taken a knock to his knee or his shoulder that he hurt against Hoffenheim, Johnny, was problematic? How would you start the season? What would you do? You'd put Mikey Moore on the right. Matisse Tell maybe would have to go up the top. I don't know who would you play on the left-hand side? You'd play James Maddison?
But James Maddison's too rusty. I mean, look how rusty he was. Look, guys, this isn't about being negative. If you think I want to come on here and talk about this negativity, but it is what it is. If you're sat at home saying you ain't bothered, you're not bothered that we haven't bought a striker. You're not bothered that we pay 85 million for a player that scored 1 goal in 880 minutes last season that has not made it at Manchester City, then fine, right? But, there's nothing wrong with discussing it. That's what these channels are about. They're about discussing the good, bad, and the ugly. And right now, the defence is what it is. The midfield's what it is, but the attack is severely lacking. I do think he's protecting players behind the scenes, though. There are certain players.
You think Kudus is fit? Because there's rumour. There was an announcement today from the Evening Standard who said that we got 3 players that are back: Destiny Udogie, James Maddison, and the other one is, bear with me,
Kudus, maybe?
No, it wasn't Kudus. It was hang about. It's in my voice.
James Maddison has had 90 minutes in about a year, right? 45 minutes. He's had 45 minutes in a year at the end of last season, with all those minutes in the last few games. And he had 45 minutes in that second game. That's it. That's all he's had. Kudus hasn't played in 8 months. Players don't just come back from 8 months of injury after kicking the ball around on the training pitch and go straight back in and play 90 minutes. Doesn't happen. the argument I had was we shouldn't have sold Manor Solomon until we had a player in situ. Why is it Arsenal won't sign Martinelli till they have the replacement? Why do you think City won't sell Savinho until they have the replacement? Or Liverpool won't sell Gakpo till they have a replacement? There's a reason for that. Huh?
It
Because
was Mateus Fernandez, Destiny Udogie, and James Madison that are all back.
Mateus played 90 minutes though last week. So that's
Fernandez and so the team sort of
will start. Yeah,
but it doesn't help us at the top end. You probably would have heard about Kudus, right? So Kudus isn't ready, right? So Kudus is not going to be available for that game. He won't be available for Charlton, and he might not be available for Newcastle. Maybe longer.
And then what will he need when he comes back? 20 minutes here?
5 minutes, 15, 30, 45.
Yeah.
You know, and etc. So we probably won't see, even if there's no setbacks, we probably won't see any sort of major kind of form, and even then he's going to take a bit of time to get back into it, isn't he? So it's a massive concern, mate. It's a massive concern. In a world where Richarlison was to get a knock, what would you do? Would you play Dane Scarlett up the top, or would you put?
You'd have to play Matthias Tell. I think you'd have to play Matthias Tell as a false nine.
And then what? James Maddison off the left, and then Gallagher in the.
I don't think James Maddison can play 90 minutes. He's probably. I don't think he's got 45 minutes. He looked rusty playing Hoffenheim second team, right? You know, I'm not going to, focus on the mistake. This is it. This is exactly right. You know,
was a mistake, right?
Yeah,
5 million.
I wouldn't.
You might as well fucking leave him. What are you going to do with 5 million quid? You don't even get one of like Savinho's fingernails for 5 million quid. Solomon is a good player. I don't think he's a great player. I don't think he's Premier League levels, but I do think he would be more interesting for me than
he's
Mike.
A threat. He's a threat. He can cross the ball. He can score goals, right? And he can assist, as we saw when he picked up his head to pass the ball to Tonali for Tonali to score his goal, right?
He scored on his debut as well, is that right? Did he score on his debut?
Yeah, scored on his debut. Look, I'm not advocating he should stay here forevermore. I'm just saying, act like a big team, act smartly, don't sell your players until you got them over the line. It's called don't count your chickens before they hatch. Right? It's the oldest one in the book. It's the oldest one in the book. The one thing from a positive point of view is that any wingers are going to take 2 seconds to integrate into De Zerbi's team, because all they're going to do is they're going to play high up the pitch and exploit the space that Richarlison, Solanke, or whoever we've got as a 9 is dropping deep and creating the space by dragging the defenders with them. And, and listen, we're playing a Brentford team that have won 4-0, 4-0 and 7-0 against Eintracht Frankfurt. Now,
it's a brutal opening day fixture.
Yeah. Listen, I don't. Stephen Wright tells his striker, yeah, that's how bad it is.
I don't think he is a striker.
No, of course he's not a striker, but who else are you playing up front? You were playing Dane Scarlett.
No, Jessica, really good suggestion there, Jessica. It's worth a little conversation. Where's her comment? She said you go 3-5-2. And that might be something that we might be forced to do, right? Because Mickey van der Ven, for what it's worth, isn't fit apparently for the weekend. But in a world, you might maybe consider going Senesi on the left, Danso in the middle, and Van Hecker on the right, and then Pedro Porro if he's available, or Archie Gray at right wing back, left wing back of Udogie, and then obviously the 3 in midfield would be Gallagher, Fernandez, and
we mentioned this before. Yeah,
and then just have like a double split, like Richarlison with sort of Matisse Tell as a 2, but can drift away.
Yeah, because I mentioned this.
It's probably not a bad shout, but I just don't like. I don't like what I've seen of Tottenham recently playing in a back 3. I'm not a fan of it personally. But
listen, we've heard that he's practiced it. Doesn't mean he's going to play it, but I think there could be games where he might have to play 3 at the back. Maybe this will be one of them. Brentford away is going to be a tough game.
I just feel like, mate. I just feel like
200 million. We're trying to put square pegs in round holes again.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly. If you told me at the start of the season that Tottenham, by the end of the window, were going to have broken the transfer record twice and then followed it up with what would have been a transfer record of around 70 million quid for Gakpo had it not been for the previous two, and what would have been a transfer record for Savinho. If you were going to tell me that you would have spent the better part of £370 million on 4 players, I would have assumed you'd have had better players than Fernandes, Tonali, Savinho and Gakpo. No disrespect to any of them because they're all great players, but you're talking about 4 monster signings and there's not really a world-class player amongst them. Far from it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the other concern though, John, you know what I said a minute ago, like, well, is if the market's just the market and it's just bonkers and you kind of go, well, you can't justify it because what you do now, you can't do later. What you spend on one, you can't spend it on another. And the game doesn't stop and start. You know, the line in the sand is not September the 1st. It's 2027, 28 season, 28, 29 season, all that sort of thing. But the sort of trajectory in transfer fees is always like that. So even if you can't justify Savinho today, maybe the argument to get around it, to justify it, is that next year, Savinho, even if he has an okay year at Tottenham and you want to move him on, like the market might be that he's £100 million next year just because prices always inflate.
Well, Declan Rice,
you're going to end up paying more anyway for less later.
Yeah, what would Declan Rice be today in today's market?
150 million?
Yeah, it might be. He might be.
Well, he's a better player than Elliot Anderson. He's
for sure.
Better than Elliot Anderson, and Elliot Anderson cost 115. So
it's just the numbers are just mad. And like, but my point is about scouting. Yeah, why can't you mix, you know, players prem proven or whatever it is you want to call them, with players that you can see that are playing in Europe, plying their trade, who could be a success in the Premier League. It's the whole Premier League is littered with players that came from Europe and Brazil and Argentina who had never played in the Premier League before, who are absolutely smashed it and are stars.
Interesting conversation. Would you take Rayan? Would you go to Bournemouth right now? In fact,
well, he's better than what we got, isn't he?
He's much better than what we got. And Rayan for me,
35 million.
Unbelievable, right? And we were linked with him. And I'm pretty sure. Didn't you tell me that your mate said everyone in Brazil was aware of Rayan? No one in Brazil was aware of.
Sousa.
Sousa, is that right? Is that what you said?
Oh, not no one was aware, but he wasn't not
on the radar.
Yeah. He's not. Rayan was always rated, but the point is that was the window where we decided that we weren't going to invest. We were going to, keep our powder dry, right?
Yeah. Would you go to Bournemouth right now? Would the fan base, not necessarily you, but would the fan base be accepting? I see this on Twitter all the time. Manchester United just bought an injured player. Right, they bought a player that was injured.
I've said this before, yeah.
Would you, even if you knew you weren't going to see him until January, buy Kruppi right now?
All day long.
Hope for the best that you get through until January.
Well, I think he'll only be out for about 5 games. I think Bournemouth are trying to push him away to make it sound worse than it is. But if I could get insurance cover, if I could pay for insurance cover in case he doesn't get through the medical, I would 100% sign him. That for me would be a left field signing, because for me, he reminds me of a young Thierry Henry. He's just something about him that is really special. And I think if you can't get the Osimhen, we're not going to get Harry Kane. You can't get an Osimhen. You go out somehow, whatever you do, you go and sign Junior Kruppi. So what? If he doesn't play for 2 months, half of our team's not going to play for 2-3 months. So what does it matter? We're not signing him for 2 months or 3 months. We're signing him for potentially 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, well, that's the point. That's exactly the point, right? Not necessarily about Kruppi specifically, but generally, whatever you're doing now, you are committing to 5 years, right? And
especially 85 mil.
Well, 85 million quid for Savinho. I'm at the point, I don't know why Tottenham are not linked with more players, but we have come to see that from a certain Johan Lang, which we're going to talk about him, and we'll talk about Johnny. How long have you got today? Are you any particular rush?
I'm fine. You see, look, this thing here, right? Kruppi with the broken foot, right? You're not listening to what we're saying here. Kruppi, they said, would be out for 3 months. Okay, he's already been out for a month, so it's another 2 months. Okay, we're in August, September, October. would you not take him if you knew that he was better than anything else in the market?
The thing with Bournemouth though is that Bill Foley he thinks of, like, most of the time when we had this conversation before about the pathways you choose, right? You go down the Prem proven route, or you go down the non-Prem proven route. If you go down the non-Prem proven route, then you have to pay above the rates for unproven talent, but you're also talking to clubs in countries that need the money, and so they then feed off it. They'll always deal with you if you pay the right money. You go the Prem proven route, you have two options. You go to the teams that are as big as you or bigger, or you go to the teams that are smaller than you and that need the money. And there's risks with either side. With the route that we've gone, like, they don't want to walk to the beat of your drum. They'll do their own thing and they'll hold you hostage to all those. And we're seeing that with Liverpool and City. But Bournemouth, you would put in the bucket of a team that you should be able to go down to and say, I'm going to take your best player because you're a selling club, because you have to be, because you've got a 14,000 seat capacity stadium. And so we're going to pay you money that you can't refuse. And the cycle, like the food chain, continues, right? The pecking order exists.
Yeah.
But Bill Foley doesn't operate like that. Bill Foley, he will sell, but only at the price point in which he deems necessary. And there's a lot of these, like, I don't know, punching above their weight chairmen down there. Brighton are certainly one of them. Brentford less so, but Bournemouth really do punch above their weight. And the only times where I've ever been kind of unimpressed with Bournemouth's business is when they did things like they signed Semenyo to a new contract just to keep him for 3 months and then let him go for 40 million quid with the release clause to City in January anyway, when they could have got a lot more. I didn't really understand that business. They probably could have sold him for 65 million in the summer, but kept him and sold him for 45 to City, or whatever it was, 50 in January. Was the 15, 20 million difference, was it really worth it? But with Krupi, Bill Foley has said categorically he ain't for sale.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, would you park and move your attention to Rayan, Johnny? Because I think Rayan has as much about him as Savinho does about him.
You could see some of the things in the World Cup. Although Brazil didn't have a great World Cup, he's just got something about him. You know, he's got the power. For me, if you said to me, they pay 35 million for Rayan last January. Go and bid 60 million for Rayan. I'd rather have Rayan for 60 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would too.
It ain't going to cost us 85 million, that's for sure.
Rayan would cost 100 million. Well, if that's what we're dealing with here, then
is every player just going to be slap 100 million pound on them as soon as? Because why is that? Why do you think that is? Because I'll tell you why that is. Because everyone knows in the market Spurs have got jack shit up front. Right? You look at Chelsea, right? João Pedro. You look at João Pedro. You look at Morgan Rogers and Cole Palmer. That is a top 4, top 5 attack, without any doubt whatsoever. All right. You look at ours is a bottom half of the table attack. I'm sorry, it's not against Tell because Tell's still developing. But Tell, Mikey Moore, and Richarlison, come on.
I'd get this geezer as well.
Minty.
I don't think he's not like a tricky touchline winger. He's more of a off the shoulder baller.
Yeah, Minty's a good player.
Fantastic player.
Again, look, we saw him. He played well when we played him, when we went down to their place. He's a really good player. I really like him. But again, probably with Brighton, they'll want stupid money again. But
I don't think they wouldn't want £100 million from Minter. But this is the point. I know Minter's injured, as far as I know he is. Yeah, I know he's injured at the moment, but he's not out forever. Again, though, I don't know. Can you even pass a medical? And you made a good point there, Johnny, about insurance. Before we continue, guys, we've got loads of things to talk about outside of this current situation as the show goes on. We've been going for 44 minutes. I completely forgot to mention any of the admin at the start of the show. We've got some super chiddly chit chats to do as well, guys. This is a multi-stream affair. So there's 1,350 people here spread across both channels. Unbelievable numbers for a Wednesday lunchtime. We appreciate your support. Please do make sure, whichever channel you've come in on, that you've smashed the like button and you've hit the subscribe, and the notification button should be squeezed. Comments should be dropped, as you are thick and fast doing already. Please also make sure that you jump across to the other channel, and make sure, if you are coming through mine, then make sure you go over to Johnny's. I'll put the link in a minute. Talking Tottenham 1882. Jonny, you've got Talking Tottenham 882 in your thing. They need to update that, mate. You've got the wrong at.
Oh, is that?
Thing. But
I've actually, interestingly, I've actually lost 3 subscribers since I've been streaming.
What, today? Just now?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, guys, make sure you get over and sub. Hang on, so we didn't buy anyone world class. Right, let's also buy Rayan or Minter. They're 2 different conversations. I'm saying the amount of money we have spent versus what we've got for them. Look at Adam trying to fucking wind me up this morning. Adam, are you, mate? You're on the wind up. You're succeeding.
We need class.
No, you fucking told me that that Richarlison was world class and elite. Let's not forget that, donut. Anyway, please get over to Talking Tottenham 1882. Please get over to Spurs Talk Show and smash the like and subscribe. We'll be flicking through. I'll make sure the links are published. Don't forget OK Jersey. You've got 2 options. You can use code TT10, TT10, and you can also use Sean10, SEAN 10, to get yourself a lovely discount. They've got their 3rd kit. The 3rd kit's about to launch by the start of the season. So by the end of the week, you should have the new little bow tie weird 3rd kit thing. They're also pulling out all the stops with goalkeeper jerseys and also training gear. There's loads of new training gear. There is a typhoon or whatever's going on in China. It's horrendous. I've seen my man sent me videos of what he's dealing with.
I love their tea, mate.
They're like, yeah, their tea is lovely, but the impact of what's going on in China. If you listen, I don't know if you know anybody that's Chinese, send some best wishes because there's some horrendous.
If you've got any spare time and you can fly out to China and help them out.
Hey, help them out.
Sure, we'll pass on the
TT10 on OK Jersey for Jonny to support Jonny. Sean 10 to support me, but just support anyone. Get yourself whatever you need. And we're going to be pointing in a little while. We're going to finish this conversation. Then we're going to go to the Spurs Hub where Jonny has set up a public league for the new predictor. And I have 2. So join them all. I'll show you how to do it. We've also got the last man standing tab, the last man standing game, which is awesome. They will also have public and private leagues so you can play amongst your friends and not get crowded out by the thousands or hopefully thousands of participants. Good luck trying to get past this guy, though. You know? They're all right. There's only one person that's ever beaten me in a prediction game, and it was Cali Spurs. I called him out yesterday. He messaged me on the Spurs Hub. We've got loads of things going on the Spurs Hub, so make sure you get over there. And we'll do the super chats now, Jonny, and then we'll quickly we'll get back to the story. Okay, if that's all right with you. What are you saying there?
Yeah, no, it's not a bad shout. Did very well in the World Cup.
Good player.
Good player.
We want to talk about our old Irish man. Troy Parrott has made his way over to play alongside one of my favourite wingers in the game, Abdi, over at Real Betis. Good luck to him. Was it 20 million euros though, Jonny? 20 million euros.
We get a kickback from that.
I think we get 4 million euros from that. Yeah. It just quickly before I do the super chats, given the market, any interest at all? And what do you reckon the reaction would have been had Tottenham re-signed Troy Parrott? He has kicked on in the Dutch league.
He has got on. I mean, listen. Is Parrott better than Jasper Parrott? Better than Dane Scarlett? 100%, yes. Look, we shouldn't have sold Will Lancashire. We shouldn't have sold Manor Solomon. That is my argument, right? And I will stand by that till I'm blue in the face. Will Lancashire had it all, right? Think about Harry Kane and all the failed loans that he had, but he had little something about him. Will Lancashire...
Would you have panicked right now if Richarlison took a knock in the first game against Brentford in the 50th minute and he has to go off and it's not serious, but it's like you need to protect him, wrap him in cotton wool. And then Will Lancashire, big strapping butterfly swimmer, Will Lancashire.
No, wouldn't have worried at all.
Wouldn't have phased me. Wouldn't have phased me.
Because he knows it's clever runs. He knows his runs. He's got the physicality. He's great in the air. And he knows where the ball is. You saw that last minute goal against Lincoln, nipping into the box with just a little clever touch to win it over. Middlesbrough fans, he's already a hero to Middlesbrough fans.
They fucking love him up there.
Yeah. Big mistake, mate. Big mistake. And this is what happens. I feel like we don't have the experience, football people experience.
What about that one? Jamie Vardy on a free transfer for a year.
Mate,
I don't mind it. I don't. How many goals did he score last year in Italy? He did all right, didn't he?
he scored a few.
Scored like he was like a cult hero over there.
Mate, I've got his shirt, mate. I've got his shirt from last season in Italy, haven't I? I've got his shirt.
Oh, you do, yeah. Yeah, hang on. Jamie Vardy, what did he do last season? He got 9 GA in 29 appearances for Cremonese.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to come back to the Premier League. I don't think he's. Maybe he does. Maybe he comes back. You know what? He probably wouldn't be a bad shout for
Cremonese all over his wife's shirt. I think that she wore that all. No.
Yeah, superb, sensational. So
here's the player I'd take. Bang. Ismail Sarr, right? No questions, no getting used to, just bang. If you said to me, Ismail Sarr or Savinho, who are you taking?
Who am I taking out of who? Ismail Sarr
or Savinho?
Well, how much is Ismail Sarr going to cost me?
Well, if it was the same price.
Oh, if it's the same price, I'd take Savinho because Ismail Sarr's a bit older, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's about 28, I think. But still,
Ismail Sarr's 28, yeah. But he's a cracking player. Scored 4 goals at the World Cup as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's all day long.
Great player. But if he costs 40 million, yeah, I'd take him. Take him all. Yeah, he wouldn't be 85.
But no, of course he wouldn't be. He'd probably be around 45, 50.
He's a cracking player. Really, really good player.
You know what you're getting with him. You know exactly what you're going to get him.
He's not a scrub. What are we doing here, RBS? What are we doing, mate?
Yeah.
He sort of takes one up.
Savinho's miles better based on what? What? Are we going to go back to Girona?
On vibes, mate.
Vibes.
On vibes. On people that dying on the hill. There's a lot of hill dying going on, Johnny. You know,
if his name was Sava,
they're going to die on it.
If his name was Sava rather than Savinho, right, you wouldn't be interested. It's the Eno bit. The Eno adds about another 20 million.
But look, he definitely wants to come to Tottenham, right? And if you're trying to inculcate a culture,
do you think he's made it obvious? He's liked every Spurs player. He's liked every Spurs tweet. He's unfollowed this. He's unfollowed that.
Yeah. He follows more Tottenham players than probably you do, Johnny. Let me do these super chiddly chit chats. Big up to Paul Petty. We need to pull our fingers out. What you're saying? Yeah, 100%. Oh, I'm talking to Stel. Got to check Stel's picture still on that thing. And he's turned it off. He'd rather leave the camera on and leave the room than have Stel's face on the screen. It's hilarious. Good banter. Big up to Paul Petty. Appreciate you, mate. Thank you for the super chat. Shay Bryant, my man, lives in Camberley as well, from what I can tell. Down the road from me, bro. How you doing? Just throw 200 million at Gala for Osimhen and Yilmaz. Yilmaz is an interesting player. He's a winger that I looked at him on the Y Scout like 18 months ago. From memory, he's just a bit of a. There he is, Cremonese, Jamie Vardy. It's a nice top. That is a nice shirt, though, isn't it?
Nice shirt. I haven't Cremonese'd over it. This one's nice and clean.
It looks
nice. But this is a lovely shirt, isn't it?
I like that.
Lovely shirt. That one I shall definitely keep.
But you're never going to watch them again because we have to reload, John. We have to pick our teams to watch, teams to follow.
Yeah, we'll only do 3 leagues this season. We'll skip out the French league.
100%, yeah. Screw the French. Hey, don't talk to us about like that. Big up to Shay Bryant, though, mate. Yilmaz he looked like a bully when I was watching it. 5 joules. Thanks, Levionics, for the 5 joules, and you, Zach.
Oh, here they go.
Here they come. The jewels are coming in.
Jewels are us.
Thanks for the penny, Rob. Thanks. Big up to the jewels. Big up to the fucking jewels. Jesus Christ. Disrupting the show for a couple of pence. Big up to you all. Ronald Cooper, my man. Big up to Ronald and your son, Ronald, as well. Big up to you, bro. Hope you're okay enjoying your summer. Coy's 12th man says, big up Sean and Johnny. Off on birthday, Mish. Treve.
Have a great birthday. Whatever you...
Treve. Is that a place in Cornwall? Treve. Is there a place called? Do you know? Have you heard of it?
No, I've heard of Tring.
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe Treve is a word for something
I
else.
don't know.
You picking up some for your birthday? Is that what you're doing? Is that what we're saying? Treve, the new word, Treve. Big up to Coy's 12th man, though. Thank you very much. Want to say thanks, you guys. Give us strength talking about things we love. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, I love working with Johnny. Football Inc. is not dead, by the way, guys. So don't unsubscribe from it. We're just basically on an elongated hiatus whilst I'm trying to get the Spurs hub up and running, and Johnny's starting this Talking Tottenham, and he's trying to get it going. And it's hard graft building a channel. It really is, right? So make sure you do get over. There's a lot of people here, 1,300 people here. Please do get over. Make sure you're over on Johnny
Try
as
and
well.
sub to my channel, Talking Tottenham 1882. If you get a second, just hit a button. Doesn't cost any money, but it just helps with the algorithm to help grow the channel. We do more of these streams, so I really appreciate anyone who does offer any help and hits that subscribe button.
And the poor bastard's demonetized right now whilst he's getting the transfer done. So he's putting all this work in, and it's for absolutely nada. So make sure you reward him for his time with at least a sub and a like. Big up to you, Big D, saying we spend 85 million on Savinho. I give up. The game's gone. Game's gone. It's just going into stratospheric areas. You know what the consequences of this are going to be, right? When at the same time you see teams like Chelsea are pulling out, or that their ownership are like, oh, can't do this anymore. Like, we're not in Europe. The money's not there. It's private equity 101. It's a constant losing battle, and they want out, whether they're going to get their number or not. But they can't even get a shirt sponsor because their brand is diminished because they're official cheats. And at the same time, you see this amount of money being spent around on the level of players that are getting generated right now. It's bonkers, right? It's absolute bonkers. But what happens eventually, Johnny? Right, if Tottenham do go and have a net spend at the end of this window, if we have a net spend of 250, and for that to happen, you need to drop another 200 million quid. At some point in the next 12 to 18 months, what's going to happen? The prices of everything that Tottenham fans engage with is going to go up, right? The price of a shirt is going to go up because they're going to blame inflation. They're going to blame the cost of getting the shirts from China to here because and all the tankers can't get through the strait, this, that, and the other. It's like the eventual consequences are that prices of tickets are going to go stratospheric. It either's going to implode on itself, or it's just going to stretch itself beyond the realms of imagination. And you and me and everyone watching are going to end up having to carry the baby, aren't we?
Can I ask you a question? Do we think that even though we finished 17th, there's a world in which you go to the agents and to the players, you call them in and you say, look, what went on before with Daniel is past. What we want to do with this club is we are going to spend. This isn't going to be one window. This isn't just going to be a summer window, never to be repeated again. Our aim at Tottenham Hotspur with Roberto De Zerbi is to continue spending and striving to be at the top of the Premier League. Do you think that is a story you could sell to someone now? Or do you think it's more of a story you could sell next season, should we finish, I don't know, 7th or 6th or 7th? You can see what's going on, the type of football he's playing, getting some odd good results. Do you think that's a story that's easier to sell next season than it is right now, that Spurs really do have ambition to go places?
What do you mean by the story, to sell the story next season?
Well, if you're trying to sell the story that we got this huge ambition, I don't think is an easy sell when you finish 17th twice and our history of cutting corners and all the rest of it. Trying to sign a Bradley Barcola or trying to sign
we're nowhere near that capability.
No, we're not. We're not. Would that story be easier to sell, do you think, next summer, should we manage to finish, top 6, get into Europe and actually spend the money again?
Being back in the Champions League gives you an extra £100 million, doesn't it? The problem is, though, mate, is that £100 million next season
is not going to...
All of the money of being in the Champions League, right, which is like, if you don't do well in the Champions League, you make about 50, 60. If you get through to like the quarters, something like that, like we did last year, the last 16 or whatever, you're going to make like 100 million quid.
Yeah.
Is all of that worth Savinho?
course it's not.
Just the transfer fee, not the wages, not the bonuses. And this is where the rubber meets the road. And you're kind of going, like, is the participation value of being in the Champions League going to go up exponentially as well? If you have to pay £100 million for Tonali and 85 for Fernandes, and the best part of 150, 160 million on Savinho and for Cody Gakpo, and these players are not world-class players, that like you put them in the Champions League quarterfinal, and whoever you're playing against, they might not even make the combined best 11, like depending on who you get. Like Savinho, probably, if you were to come up against, I don't know, PSG, you spent £400 million on the four most expensive players that Tottenham have ever signed, and none of them get into the combined best 11. And you're making £100 million from your participation in the most lucrative competition that the football world provides, and you are only able to afford, if you put every penny that revenue generates for you into one player that isn't even a top. Like, what is Savinho? Is he top 30 wingers in the world? No.
Well, what's it on your app? Where would he come in the app?
Well, so the Spurs Hub has got this thing called a hero score, right? Which is based on essentially just like, if you can't be bothered to look into all of the data, where does he rank out of 100 relative to everybody else?
Well, that's right. So that's what I was asking.
Savinho's hero score is 44 out of 100. So he's in the 44th percentile overall based on last season. So yeah, he's not world class. He's not even average according to last season's stats.
Have we got people who are finance people, the top bowlers of this world, trying to do deals when they have not a clue as to values of players? Is that what we're doing here?
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
I don't know. I want him to be a success. Look, guys, if Savinho comes, Gakpo comes, I don't care who comes. I want him to be a success. I'm just like, what are we doing here? Just hanging around. 8 months waiting for a striker a year. We needed a striker last season. You know?
How do you spell Kovac? Kovacia?
Now you're asking. I'm not sure. Hang on, let me have a look.
What's his name? Kvara. Okay, that'll do. Let's find it that way. Let's see if I can. Kvara. Here we go. What's his hero score? Let's have a look. 91 out of 100. There you go.
Yeah. And where would... I mean, is this in Europe or just in the... Oh, right, in Europe.
No, this is... Hang on, all 10 comps that I'm doing it. Hang on. Reload
Have a look at El Marla. I see where he is. He'd probably be low down as well.
Is that his name, the winger?
Said El Marla.
Yeah, Said El Marla. 62 out of 100.
Thank you very much. And he's 19 years of age.
Yep.
Exactly my point. I'm not getting it. I'm just not getting it.
I haven't actually looked at this. What's Matisse tell? No! It's about the same as Savinho, though. It's about the same. Give or take.
Said El Marla would cost you 50 million euros.
Yeah?
Yeah. And you wouldn't be paying him 200 grand a week either. Yeah?
What's his name? Abdi El Alazouli. Abdi Alazouli. How do I do that? Zal.
Try saying that after a couple of drinks. What was his name?
Look at that! 77! That's my guy. Abdi. This is the geezer. He's 24.
Nothing wrong with that either, mate. Nothing wrong with that.
You know? What are we doing here?
But this is what I'm saying. You know, what are they doing all day? What are they doing all day? You know?
I feel
they are
about the same, Connor. They are about the same. They are. Tellinho and Savinho are about the same, 43 and 44.
Well, let's keep Tellinho, right, who cost us 35 million, who's already here, and let's spend it on a player that has a better return, a better ceiling, higher ceiling than the guy that would be. Do you not think they're sat at the meeting? I mean, Johan Lang's probably got cobwebs sat in that waiting room. He's been there that long. But do you not think they're having a meeting at Spurs going, look, guys, what do we do if we don't? Oh, no, we can only get Savinho. we can only get Savini. Has no one at the bloody club said, guys, have we thought about X, Y, or Z? You know, where's our plan B?
Well, this is what's concerning me, because I think everyone would agree that
Spend it on a 40 million. If you got 40 million wrong, say for example, you got right, just for argument's sake, you buy Saïd Amala, he doesn't work, right? He's cost you 40 million pound, right? You're not paying him big wages. You can upgrade next year and probably sell him off for 25 mil. If you're playing big money like George McCarthy, I mean, look, he's only just above Saïd Amala, and Amala's like,
yeah, and they want apparently there was that article yesterday that said that Mikel Tadze that they want Villarreal want 80 million euros.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
If you go to Villarreal right now, what did they pay? How much?
Chelsea played fuck all for Nicholas Jackson from Villarreal.
Villarreal.
35 million, was it, to take Jackson?
36 million euros. They paid. Villarreal paid for 36 million euros, and then within a year, and don't get me wrong, he had a really good year. They now want to double that. I reckon if you were to go to Villarreal right now, and with Mikel Tadze specifically, you know I've rated him for a long time. I know you liked him as well when we spoke about him last year. I think he's a fucking unbelievable baller of a player, but I don't know where he's sort of one of those players that just sort of floats. So I don't really know where you squeeze him in. But at this stage, he's the sort of guy that I think I said it. You just sort of buy him and you figure it out. Like I feel like he's just someone that you just want in the squad, because 100%. If the game's a little bit stale, he's the guy that's got that magic touch.
He's perfect with a big man. Perfect with a big man. I don't think he can lead the attack. He could probably be the second striker or come in as a 10. Have you got one for Nicholas Jackson or Jesse Jackson?
Yeah, I'll bring it up. Hang on. What do you think of Nicholas Jackson?
I actually think I would take him, because I think he gets in the positions. I mean, he's not my first choice by any stretch of the imagination.
Wow.
No stretch of the imagination, but there you go, 76.
Impressive. Let's have a look at his stats. Jesus Christ. Doesn't do very much in the air.
No, but he's good at dropping deep. He's good at playing off the last man. It's just his clinical finishing where it lets him down for me. But, you know, he's still 25 years of age. People think he's like 28 years of age. Look at his gameplay at Villarreal. He did very well under Poch. It was only when Poch left that, you know, things didn't sort of work out for him. But it was good enough for...
Hey, look at the company he keeps up in this top right-hand corner as a forward versus top 5 on a per 90.
I would take him.
Look, so he's next to Erling Haaland, Bamba Dieng, Marcus Thuram. Bamba Dieng's a fucking option, by the way. So fucking talent.
Arsenal in advance.
Gonzalo Ramos on a per 90. Never got very many minutes, but when he did, unbelievable stuff. Carlos Epi Escarate. I don't know who's that.
Concert to Arsenal looking likely.
Dennis Undav, that's an interesting option that Tottenham haven't explored. No one's explored that one. Is this on the screen, by the way? Can you see it on the screen?
Yeah.
Look, you're right. Nicholas Jackson really has had a good season over in Germany. A very, very good season. He's up there with some really interesting players. Hugo Ekitike.
I think he's a good player, and I think of the players that are available right now, I think he suits De Zerbi's system. You know, he's not sexy enough. If his name was Giacchino, then maybe. But again, Chelsea were happy to sell him to Bayern Munich for around about 50 million euros. Now they're looking for, 75 million pound. Right, this is how mental it's got. But Chelsea have got 41 professionals on their books. The club is in uproar with Todd Bowley and all the rest of it, and all that's going on there with Clear Lake Capital and the Saudi PIF fund and all the rest of it. They need to offload players and double quick time. How many they can offload to Strasbourg, I'm not sure. But with the amount of players they've got, they probably need to buy another bloody club. But for me, Jackson, I think, is the best player if we can't get any of the elites.
It's interesting, though, that when you actually look at the season stats, obviously he's not getting as many minutes because of Harry Kane, etc. Right?
Yeah. But when called upon.
Yeah. No, listen, That's actually interesting. I didn't really rate Jackson in the Premier League. I thought he was a bit of a bozo at times. I thought he
But
missed so many chances. But
but under
I
Poch, he
want
was.
someone with high conversion. I
I
actually want to
agree.
see.
I agree.
You
I
know?
agree. I agree.
Anyway, guys, whilst we're on the old Spurs hub here, I want to show. Just want to show you guys what we're doing. So,
Oh yeah.
well, make sure you sign up. But the predictor game starts obviously on Friday night, but as too does the last man standing. So, if you what's happened there? How about try that again? Predict the game. That was an interesting little error. So if you want to predict, don't look at my score predictions. Don't look at my score predictions. But you know how it works, right? I put in Kai Havertz as my goal scorer, and there's the predictions for my team. I don't mind. You can see them. It's fine. Copycats. The game. It was the same as what we did on Football Inc. Right? And so you guys can all do that. And what
Set up a league in there. So
you set up a league, right? So if you go and sign up and you play, then you can go to mini leagues. What is going on with these errors? Jesus Christ. Try it again. Mini leagues. Here we go. And you've got the Talking Tottenham 1882 mini league, right? So go and join Johnny's mini league here. They're public. You go to browse public leagues, and you've got at the moment there's 3 leagues that you can join, and they are Spurs Talk Show. There's 35 members that are in there already. 35 people. Kate and Jimbo's got a couple, and Johnny's league has got some as well. So you can obviously just participate outside of that. If you want to set up your own leagues, then you can do that as well. I've got to fix whatever that is.
yeah, get on down to the league, because I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be doing regular updates on the prediction league on Talking Tottenham. So try and as many of you can to get in. Join mine and Sean's leagues if you can.
Yeah, and if you're in WhatsApp groups or whatever else, and you want to play with just your mates, so that you're not crowded out by the thousands of other people that are participating, you can create your own league. You can make it private, up to 50 people. I can expand that if necessary, but you can have your own private league.
It's free
to play, absolutely free to play. Set up your own league, and then it will give you a little code, and then you can share that with your mates if you want to play there. And the other game, just quickly, is Last Man Standing, which is you pick a team that doesn't lose, right? So it's just everyone starts with you in the game. You pick a team. I've picked Arsenal to not lose to Coventry, but once you pick that team, you can't pick that team again. So assuming that Coventry lose or draw, and Arsenal don't lose, then I go through to the next round, and then the next round I have to pick someone other than Arsenal. Same for everybody else, and there'll be prizes available. There's point systems. It's all explained. All the rules are explained down here. So go and educate yourself. There'll be mini leagues for that as well that you can set up and participate. So appreciate anyone's support, but make sure you do join Johnny's league, and make sure you join the Spurs Talk Show.
The person who comes last has to sit in a room with Johan Lang for 2 hours. So make sure you don't come last, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to fix all those errors. I don't know what's going on there.
But get on down. So you go to the Spurs Hub, look for Predictions League if you're following me, and get on there and just join the Prediction League, and we'll be running that throughout the season, and that's going to be good fun, and we'll have some prizes on those as well.
Yeah,
if we got enough players, that's for sure.
Right, Johnny, do you want to? Is there any other? There's 1,300 people. Is there any other news that we want to talk about? Do you want to talk a little bit about Chelsea maybe selling their assets? Do you want to talk about some of the others? Hayden Hackney. We haven't spoken about Hayden Hackney. This is a bit of Hayden Hackney joining Everton, mate. This is a name of a player that we've spoken about fucking forever. Is he a player to watch this year? Do you think he might end up being the next Adam Wharton, or what are we saying about him?
I don't think Look, he's got lots of skill set, great skill set. I just think doesn't have the pace. There's something not quite. I think he's got a couple of missing components. I think he'd be a good player. Took a long time for people to commit. And I think if there was a ladder between Anderson, Adam Wharton, and Enzo Fernandez and all the rest of them, these midfielders, I think he's at the bottom of that pile, or that group. Not the bottom of the pile as he's shit, but the bottom of the pile of those current crop. Be interested to see where Adam Wharton goes. I think he will go, but late. I think someone's going to come in for him. If Enzo Fernandez ends up going to Man City, I can see Chelsea, if they can get over their crap, potentially signing Adam Walton. That'll have some team they'll have there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. Do you want to play this game? Should we play this game where we put in some of the? Let me show it on the screen.
I can ask you a question. Where do we rate Spurs'? Where do we rate the strikers right now? The attacks of each team.
Tottenham versus everybody else.
Yeah.
I think you could make an argument right now, and this is horrendous to say this, but I think you could make an argument that Tottenham's starting front three is arguably weaker than West Ham's starting front three.
It is. It is. I think we're in this. I reckon we're 16th in the league. Possibly, could be 17th, 16th, 17th with our attack.
As Cons has gone to Arsenal, is he? Is it all official now? Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean,
they figure something out. They go, "Oh shit, we've got injury issues at the right side. Let's just get someone in."
Don't worry, we'll sell someone else in January, or we'll sell someone else next summer. Don't matter. It doesn't matter if you've got 14 centre backs and 24 midfielders.
Yeah, I mean, look at that front three for Bournemouth, right? Krupi, Rayan, and Kluivert.
Yeah, exactly. On another level to what we've got. Look at that. Bowen, Tati, Solomon, shits all over Richarlison and more. I actually think if we got two wingers and we didn't get a striker, that Richarlison would score quite a few goals, if I'm honest, because he'll be getting the service, something he hasn't really had a lot of. What's this?
Yeah.
Sean, type Mikadazzi release clause.
Mikadazzi's clause rises to.
Let me tell you, Sully and Dye used to be up front for Bournemouth. That's right, the Dye that plays for
Villarreal have raised the clause to 75 million euros. Because it's the last 10. So they had a release. So Mikadazzi had a release clause that was lower, and now that we're into the last 10 days before the window closes, or last 2 weeks, they now have a clause that it goes up. Johnny not saying tell to not want. Yeah, 100%. I appreciate that, Johnny. I appreciate that. I noticed that.
I'm walking the tightrope, guys. Fantasy to reality,
The Mikadazzi 78 million euros release clause. What's that? 60 million quid?
It's just like, come on.
I'd do that right now. I'd be delighted if we got him in, to be honest.
He can't play as a false nine in the Premier League. I don't think he has the physicality to it, but I could definitely see him playing. He could play behind a Richarlison or behind a bigger striker or more physical striker. So there's no Harry Kane. There's no Victor Osimhen. Who is the only striker? Who is the striker that you're taking that's realistic? Are you taking Balogun? Are you taking Jackson? I'd
be underwhelmed.
Yeah, but sometimes those ones are the ones that surprise you. But
I think I'd rather Mikadazzi than Nicholas Jackson. I'll be honest.
Yeah, but Jackson is more of a striker. I think Mikadazzi is more of a sort of false nine. He's just sort of floats around. 9.5, isn't he? It's like, it's not a sort of 10.5. He's sort of not there. Is that the chart? Bring your chart up. Go on.
Yeah, so that's the chart. But before I do that, because I'm busting for a wee, Johnny, can I leave you to hold the fort for 30 seconds? Is that all right?
Yeah, you can. You can. Let's have a look at some of the comments then, shall we? Nicholas Jackson will be the Ollie Watkins replacement for Aston Villa. Yeah, and probably do okay. I think Mamouche is the one we'll end up with, funny enough. I don't know why, but out of Mamouche, Balogun, Jackson, Kane, Lookman, Rashford, Watkins and Tony, Balogun seems the most likely. I actually like Balogun's finishing. I think he's an elite finisher. The only thing I'm not sure about, he's good at dropping deep. He's got the pace, explosive pace. The only thing I'm not sure about is the physicality. That's it. he probably would have seen more time at Arsenal had they didn't have their other player that they sold to Palace. I don't know. He's probably the cheapest. I think the last I saw was about 60 million euros they were asking for him. But none of them. Sorloth is not a bad player. Oh, listen, he looks like a poor man's Peter Crouch. I mean, he's no dribbler. He might dribble after he's been banged in the head or passing player. He's just a physic. Yeah, but boohoo, I don't think that's the type of player that De Zerbi needs. De Zerbi needs a player, as I said before, that can drop deep, hold off the ball, drop deep, spin, and get back in the box to support the two wingers on the outside. And I don't think that's Sorloth. Sorloth is a target man for me. Mamouche is on 295 grand a week. Well, he might have to cut his wages, but that's probably more doable. Hendrick said he'll only go to a club with Champions League football, but they're not queuing up to get him. And Mateta for a year. Now, Mateta, how old's Mateta now? 29?
Yeah.
You know, we can't be paying big money for him. I think the next signing through the door for Spurs will be Manuz.
But Lyle Thomas said that Tottenham want to finish off their season with 3 forwards. If the next signing is a fullback, it's winding me up. Not that I don't like him, but
you just know that something's going to happen to Pedro Porro because this club's not thought everything out properly. Who cares about Manuz? Well, I'd only care about Manuz if we didn't have cover. Do you want Archie Gray as cover for the remainder of the season?
I don't mind Archie Gray filling in. I think he's capable, but I think he's got a lot to learn defensively, positioning from back post corners, that sort of stuff. He's a very smart kid. I think he can adapt to it. But I also don't necessarily think it's good for him if he has to kind of constantly be used as a versatile player. Just because you're good enough to play doesn't mean that... I feel like it's a little bit disrespectful to not allow him to figure it out, you know? Do you see Archie Gray eventually becoming a full-time right back?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, he's a filler, you know, but we don't want a stocking filler. He's better than that. He's much better than that. And I just think that we're doing that thing where we fill in square pegs in round holes just to fill in for now. I think we might need to be forced into the market. We got more than enough cover at left back. Listen, if you were buying Neco Williams, I'd be interested, you know. But I wouldn't mind Andreas Schrederup from Benfica.
I don't rate him. He's all right.
I know you don't. He did all right in the
I think he's all right. I think he's all right. He's a clever player. He just reminds me a little bit of like a Damsgaard sort of thing. I think he's a certain level to him personally.
I mean, that Marcus Thuram, right? I think he got 13 goals and 6 assists for Inter. Maybe you could get him out. They get the money. I think at least he wasn't injured. 38 appearances.
The fact, though, that we spoke to Inter Milan about Jez Spence and that there was no links. That
I'm just trying to think about, you know,
Brahim Diaz.
Yeah,
I don't think he's that great. I think he's all right.
He looked weak in the World Cup, but Thuram is probably around about 50, 60 million euros. He's an experienced striker, though. You know.
Yeah. No, I'll take Thuram. I would take Thuram, but it's interesting that he's never wanted to come into the Premier League. You know.
Yeah, no,
I keep talking about Tresoldi, Marshall. You keep bringing up Tresoldi. What are we doing here? Who the fuck is this bozo? Tresoldi.
Look him up. Get him up.
Tresoldi plays for Club Bruges.
Yeah, it's their striker. He's their striker. Listen, Club Bruges just keep finding them.
Is he German? No, he's Italian. Italian, obviously, yeah.
Let's have a look. That young Aston Villa striker's injured already, isn't he?
Oh, the big fella.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, poor kid.
Fiznik Aslani's already gone somewhere. He's already gone to Leipzig. So that one's done.
Soldi. Have you got him up there?
Oh, no, I didn't. Hang on. Oh.
Let's have a look at him because he's never going to go
I don't have the Belgium league in my data tool. So,
oh, do you not? No.
The only way you could look at him is if you wanted to check him out in the Champions League, which is not really a fair comparison. But maybe I need to add that if I can. It would cost a lot of fucking money. Big up to the Jules crew. Big up to the Jules who winding me up. Big up to the wind up.
I think crew. I saw 1,000 Jules somewhere.
Yeah, we love the 1,000 Jules. Big up to Jamie Bryan. We love the 1,000 Jules, bro. Appreciate the 1,000 Jules, my man. Jamie Bryan, big up to you. Brass and Bowler says Nicolò Trasoldi would work in a De Zerbi system. I don't know enough about him, to be honest. People keep talking about him. This another one, El Dante saying we need El Mala plus Trasoldi. Big up to you, El Danterino. I'm going to do some research on him, Johnny. I think we both do. I don't know.
I'm going to look now because, going to have to.
Big up to Daniel Hooson with onwards and upwards, gents. Appreciate you, mate. And Spurs OC from across the pond says, if we overpay and undersell by 100 million this window, that's better than losing 1 billion in asset value, getting relegated.
Right. Yeah.
That's their view. That's fair. That's a fair point. That is a fair point. Well,
it's a very relevant point, which is the only reason why when I was arguing with a certain Stell and his delegation that it was absolute madness. The best thing was a near fatal car crash, which is what we had.
Yeah, you were
and I said it would result in Spurs being forced to get their money out their pockets and spend big. And that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, you're spot on with that as well, I think.
Yeah. So Patrick Schick.
Yeah, how old is Patrick Schick now? Must be 33 though, isn't he?
Right, Trasoldi's 21 years old, centre-forward currently at Club Brugge, one of the most productive young strikers in Europe after a breakout 25-26 season, and is the subject of active transfer interest from clubs from Barcelona, Chelsea, Man U, Tottenham and others. Born in Calgary, Club Brugge signed him for €7 million on a contract running to 2029. The move proved transformative. He scored and exploded with 19 league goals, helping Club Brugge win the Belgium title, strong contributions in the Cup and the Super Cup, and 4 goals in the Champions League. Notable strikes against Monaco, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, amongst others. Classic modern centre-forwards, strong in the air, excellent box interest. The box is like my living room, he said. Good hold-up play, good link play, intelligent off-the-ball movement and a high work rate as a presser. He's two-footed with a clean strike and times runs well to attack space or exploit gaps between defenders. He is not an elite dribbler or pure speed merchant, but he is mobile enough and physical enough for the modern game. Scouts have highlighted his finishing composure, aerial dominance, and his ability to act as a focal point while still combining all of his attributes.
Sounds all right. Sounds all right. Yeah, it sounds like he's a bit of an old school striker.
He's on the phone. He's 30. He's we bought him 7 million. You can have him for 20. Spurs are on the phone. 100 mil.
Listen, Bruges are a fantastic football club to be able to just generate these players every year. They got another one coming through. Just see them off to wherever they're going next. Quite incredible. How did your man Jashwari get on in the end?
He went there, didn't he, and broke his leg in the first game.
That's right. Yeah.
Arnan Deshwari. He's AC Milan.
Yeah.
He hasn't
played all year then. Didn't play last season.
No, he didn't play all year. Hopefully he'll be back this year under Ruben Amorim. How fucking funny is that? AC Milan beat Man United.
What, in the pre-season?
Yeah, Ruben Amorim does Michael Carrick. Very funny.
Yeah, well, that was his cup final. Right, should we have? You got enough time? You got half an hour?
Yeah.
Should we go through everything? All right. So I'm going to call out. I'm going to read out to everyone. I want everyone to let's go through every Premier League team, and the categories are delicious window thus far, good window, decent, too much left to do, poor, or shit show. Okay, and we're going to put the 20 teams into each thing. So I'm going to call out their ingoings and outgoings, and then we will see. So at the moment, let's start with Arsenal. Their ins are Bruno Guimaraes for 75 mil, Piero Hincapi for 34.5. That's obviously a permanent deal from the loan, and Christos Solis for 34 million pound, and Ilan Melier, the goalkeeper, on a free,
And Konsa.
and Konza now. Yeah, that hasn't been updated, obviously. Konza now. In terms of outgoings, Kirior to Porto for 19 million. Decent business. Trossard to Besiktas for 17. Christian Norgard to Everton for 7. Karl Hein to Werder Bremen for 2.6. And then everybody else is kids being released or a free transfer.
They're probably going to outdo. They will probably sell up probably over 150 million pounds worth of players.
So they've spent 100. They spent 67. They spent 150 basically, and then they've currently recouped about 20, 40. They recouped about 50. So they're about net spend of about 100 million quid, I think.
Yeah, but they got Martinelli will go. Probably one of the midfielders will go. Maybe two of them. Ben White probably will go.
Yeah, we're doing thus far, right?
Oh, so, thus far, right? Okay.
It's not a delicious window for them, is it? Because they haven't got their monster. They haven't signed anybody that's world class. I mean, Bruno Guimaraes is great. Is it a good window though, or a decent?
It's window? I would say it's a good window. Getting Bruno for me.
I mean, in the chat, what's the chat saying? Decent for Woolwich. Good window. Decent
Woolwich. Decent. Yeah.
Good window. Yeah, I think it's a good window as well.
I think it's a good window. You've put. Good window. Okay, sorry, decent. Sorry, I didn't see that. Yes, beg your pardon.
All right, let's move on.
My worry is that they end up getting Julian Alvarez or Osimhen, and then I'm not going to be able to. I've switched my phone off.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to get Alvarez. The Atletico Madrid chairman's come out and said he's not leaving. And then Diego Simeone came out and said if the chairman speaks, the chairman speaks. So Alvarez is staying 100%, apparently, according to all reports. Aston Villa. Thus far, Aston Villa. Johan Manzambi from Freiburg for £60 million. Don't know a huge amount about him, Johnny, but heard really interesting stuff. I think this kid's supposed to be a super talent. Who are
we on now? Newcastle, did you say?
Aston Villa.
Oh, Aston Villa. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, because there's Mbai Manzambi.
Yeah, sorry. He was going to Newcastle.
That's
sorry.
Right. Yeah.
The Swiss kid. Yeah.
He is. Yeah, Switzerland. Yeah, the Swiss kid. Yeah. Real talented player. Looks a little bit like Mbappe in the face. Anyway, Manzambi for 60 million from Freiburg. João Gomez for 38 million. I think that's good business.
Yeah.
Personally. Zion Suzuki, the goalkeeper for 30 million quid.
But unfortunately, he's only come on 2 wheels. 2 of the wheels are missing. So I don't know.
He had a 4-stroke.
Yeah, 4-stroke engines. Too much stroking was why they sold him. I think.
Hang on, we got some more. Matteo Ruggieri, the centre back, which I think he's dog shit. By the way, I think he's absolutely terrible player. 22 million quid. I don't know. Mudu Kebasissa from LASK, undisclosed fee. I've got no idea. A guy called Blade Early from Cambridge. Don't know. And I can show you what I'm looking at here. And Alejandro Garnacho from Chelsea on a loan.
That should upset the apple cart.
60, that's 100, 130, 150 million quid they've spent. And then going outwards, they've sold those two for the same. All their money is recuperated by Morgan Rogers and Yuri Tillemans. They've also sold Doniel Marlin. I love Doniel Marlin. I think he's a cracking player. 21 million. Lewis Dobbin, 10 million. Barenashia to Benfica for 10 mil. Luca Digne, that was a release clause. That's fucking cheap as chips for PSG.
Have they not sold anyone to Saudi Arabia for 100 mil?
No, they haven't. Not yet. Look at the amount of people that have gone out, though. what's that, about 15 people that have gone out, 20 people that have gone out there. I don't recognise any of them. Samuel Illing Jr.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? He was the player that we were linked with from Juve, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Fuck. So he's come in. We were linked with him. He's come in and he's so bad he's now going to Bolton on loan. Fucking hell. Evan Gassand. He was the player that played for, was it Rennes? We were
Is he
talking
gone
about
to
him.
Palace? Did I hear he's gone to
Palace on loan? Didn't know
I think
that.
he's gone to Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gone to Palace on loan. Is that on the screen, is it?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I couldn't see it. It's so small there, I can't see it.
Oh, let me zoom in.
No, for me, because I'm watching on my laptop, they've got full screen. But yeah, look, I don't know. I think they sold out necessity. I think it's average window for me.
And Konza's on that list as well.
Huh?
And Konza's on that list as well.
Yeah, I mean they're desperately selling. I don't think they've strengthened their team at all. So for me, too much left to do or poor. What does everyone else think?
Maybe that should be like that. I don't know.
I think Villa have messed up.
I think it's a poor window.
Yeah.
Let me know your thoughts, guys, in the chat. Let me know your thoughts on the chat. What's everyone else saying?
Yeah, I think you sell off Konza. Watkins looks like he could be out the door as well. Madja, the new sensation Madja is injured. Tammy Abrahams is sort of like no version of the Tammy Abrahams that played at Chelsea. Yeah, I think they could have problems up front. Look, they've still got Buendia, who I really like, and McGinn, and they've still got good players, but I don't think they're good enough.
Right, let's move on to Bournemouth. This is interesting. So Bournemouth have signed Antonio Silva, the centre-back from Benfica, quality. Really interesting. He'll go for 80 million quid in a couple of years. I don't know why anyone else slept on him.
Oh, there's my guy, the top guy at Elche that everyone was after.
Yeah, Alvaro Rodriguez. Club, my second club, Elche. He banged in an absolute fucking... He kept
so that is a guy, Alvaro Rodriguez is a guy that we spoke about. Why? Just purely because we picked the team out in the fantasy in our Football Inc. Draw. Yeah. He came out, so we ended up looking out for them, and he was their star performer. And I truly believe that Tito, whatever his name is, the director of football, has picked out yet another gem.
Pinto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting. I don't know Joan Luis Sanchez. I don't know who he is. I'm sure he's going to be a cracking player. And then going out wise,
this is where it's failed for them this season because normally they spend about a couple of $100 million worth, but they're in Europe. They need to add, don't they?
Letting go of him for free was a big deal. They are in Europe and they haven't done enough. So for me, Sinisterra's gone as well for 5 million quid. Yeah, I don't think they've done anything like enough, to be honest, for them to be able to handle 2 games a week. So I would probably put them in.
Well, they've got work to do, haven't they?
Yeah. Well, actually, I should change that then to work to do.
Work to do. It should be left on there.
Yeah, there you go. Because they got a lot of work to do, surely.
100%. Don't bring Shirley into it. Who we got?
Brentford next. Mamadou Sangare, another one of the Sangare clan mates.
Yeah, I think he's a good player. Really good player.
Really interesting. Strong, really nice passing range. And these guys, the Africans don't often fear coming to the Premier League and doing well. Sangare comes from the long line of Sangares like Ibrahim and the other one as well.
I've had some tragic news, Sean, that was delivered last week. I forgot to mention to you that my DNA has been reassessed and they've removed my 2.5% Nigerian.
They must have seen you in the shower, Johnny.
I've had to I've had to send back all my Nigerian headdresses and everything now. It's very upsetting. I was trying to get in touch with my roots.
Don't you worry about that, mate. Don't you worry about this. Look, my club, my country. What is this? What is this? I am 8% Nigerian.
I can't do that anymore because it's not in my heritage.
I'm allowed, mate. I've got permission.
I think Brentford have had a good window. I think Brentford have had a good window, personally.
Brentford, let's have a look at what Brentford done. Brentford have done Sangare, Jaden Anthony from Burnley, decent player. Very
I
good
think
player.
that will do very well there because he was probably the standout for Burnley.
Yeah,
And only 17 million. I think that's a great bit of business.
that is good business. Don't know Janik Schuster, no idea. Don't know these two. In terms of goals out,
Callum Wilson on a free.
Oh, Callum Wilson. Well, he'll be injured most of the time when he's now doing his sort of late game stuff.
Stocking filler. He's a stocking filler.
I don't know any of these players that they've all just been released or whatever. So it's not a lot going on at Brentford, though, is it? If you're a Brentford fan, you don't have an enjoyable summer window, do you? There's not a lot to talk about. Imagine being a Brentford content creator. Nothing to talk about. So we'll end the stream, Dave.
Well, I mean, listen, this is the same Brentford that's won 4-0, 4-0 and 7-0 against Eintracht Frankfurt. So I think they'll be feeling pretty confident coming to play Spurs. Most of their players are there training and playing, unlike ours. So I think they'll be...
Where are we putting them? Decent? Or poor?
I think it's a decent window. I think it's a decent window for them.
Yeah, not a lot of movement, not a lot of things to sort of get to.
Yeah, but they haven't lost anyone. They haven't lost anyone, so they're adding. I think Sangara is a good addition. I think Anthony's a good addition.
Jordan Henderson going to Chelsea. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about Jordan Henderson. All right, sorry, I wasn't showing it on the screen. Jordan Henderson going to Chelsea for free. Jesus Christ. All right, let's move on to Brighton. Vuskovic for 50 million. Zadok Johanna, really interesting player, this Johanna kid. Really, really.
Is that the same? Give me hope, Johanna. Give me hope, Johanna. Do you think they're going to be singing that on the terraces?
I think he got 5 GA in 7 games over in Sweden, I think. He's 19. He's also what is this? Nigeria. I think he's an interesting player. I think we're going to be talking a lot about this kid if he kicks on. Pascal Struck from Leeds, sensible, good bit of business.
It's a solid bit of business there. You know what you're going to get from him. I think he's...
Promise David, they got him done yesterday, didn't they? Promise David, I don't know too much. Another striker.
I don't know what they have promised him, but all that is a swap between clubs.
Give me hope, Johanna, till the morning.
Johanna, give me... Promise David has just gone from Union Saint-Gilloise in Belgium, owned by the same owner as Brighton. So Tony Bloom has just swapped players. He's doing a Chelsea.
They've got rid of a lot of players. Buenanate gone to Elche on loan. He's a good player. Obviously, Danny Welbeck, massive for them. That's a big...
That's the striker for me. Is like Danny Welbeck kept pulling out those goals all the way through the season.
I think Brighton might struggle this year, mate. I don't think they've done enough. We don't know what this guy might be excellent, Luka Vuskovic, or he might be poor, he might not be ready. I think he's going to score some goals for Brighton because of his height, and his jumping, his leap, his reach.
Is it all on Johanna up front?
Well, Johanna or Promise, you know?
Yeah. We're going to be singing Give Me Hope, mate.
What's that?
We're going to be singing now. I'm going to be singing Give Me Hope,
Give me hope, Johanna, till the morning come. What we say, I think I've got to be honest, mate. Poor window for Brighton so far.
Four. Yeah.
Do you agree?
Average.
Average, yeah. Not done enough.
Yeah.
Not done enough. Decent. They'll be good. They'll be fine. They might be fine. You think it's a good window, do you? Good window? I don't know.
Nah, not for me.
Not sure. No. I'm going to put them in poor. But let's carry on. Next up, Chelsea.
Simicas is the striker. Sorry, Sherm's the Brighton guy. Simicas and Konstantinos are the strikers. Not good enough. It's poor. Yeah, I agree. It's a poor window. They might. I think Sherm. They might dive into the market, but like we've said, all show, and like we've said for a long time, the striker market is extremely dry. Do you think anyone's going to go in for our guy, Francesco Leone?
What happened to him? Giovanni Leone, you mean?
What was the other guy? What was his name? Francesco Leone, wasn't it?
Giovanni Leone plays for Liverpool.
No, what was the striker that kept scoring the goals out in Denmark?
Francolino Jew.
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't kicked on since he got injured.
Francolino, that's the one. Francolino.
Yeah. DJU. Not the other version.
What
are we doing here?
Next one. We've done Brighton.
Chelsea, right? Aston Villa, 117 million. Hang on, back on the screen.
No, it's not on the stage, right? Okay.
117 million.
That's a great signing. I mean, they paid 18 million, Crystal Palace, from Wolfsburg and sold Anderson for 35 to Fulham. That was great business. It was one of the last that Dougie Freeman did. And that was a fantastic deal. But they're paying 51 million, but I really rate him.
That's 170 million, 210, give or take.
Palestra, good player.
They're up at about nearly 300 million quid in spent. Coenda's a good player. Palestra, I'm not that convinced by. I think he looks like he's running in jeans. I think
all these others here. Strasbourg undisclosed. Funny that, eh? Strasbourg undisclosed. Funny that. Yeah. Transfer of assets from one club to the other. Yeah.
Danny Welbeck and Danny Welbeck, I think, is a great bit of business. I think.
How much is Welbeck? Right, they bought Welbeck and Henderson 2 OAPs to come to the club. They've still got to pay them decent money.
Yeah, they will. I think Jordan Henderson's a joke. I think that's ridiculous. I don't know about him. I don't know about this kid. Danny Welbeck, I think, is sensational business. I think he'll play and score for them. I think he'll do well as like a late guy that can, box crash and whatever else. Valentino Barco, not too familiar. Sat Payev from Kairat Almaty.
Can I just say one thing about Chelsea? Of all the clubs in the Premier League, there is no one better at selling players for top value than Chelsea.
Yeah.
End of.
Another example right there. Trevor Chalobah for £31 million. Chalobah is, for me, bang average.
How has Chalobah gone for 30 million to Italy, to Como, and we got 25 million?
I don't know. So they've raised 155, about 160 million, and they've spent about 300.
Cucurella's cheap in this market, 50 mil.
Yeah. How old is Mark Cucurella though? Must be getting on, right?
Can't remember top of my head. 26, 27, maybe.
Cucurella is 28 now. He's not that old. He's still got a bit of time. Yeah, Cucurella is a fantastic. This is the whole point where people, like when Gary Neville's saying, fullbacks don't go for good money anymore. They got 52 million for Cucurella, and they paid 43 million for this geezer from Atalanta. Yeah. So I still think that we've massively undersold Jez Spence. Really do. Really do.
Yeah, even based on those numbers. But so far, I think Chelsea are going to end up with a good window. I think right now, that is a good window.
Yeah.
I think it's a good window.
I think it's somewhere between good and decent.
Well, I think it's a good window because they've still got a load of players to sell. They've got plenty of strikers. That strike force they've got now of João Pedro, Morgan Rogers, and Palmer. They've got, I think it's a good setup. Good setup.
Thoughts on Emiti Cabernet? He would have been a good fit for Tottenham until about 2025 when we managed to do pretty well in a little competition called the Europa League, Kate. The Europa League. Trying to catch us out,
Yeah, we know your tricks.
What's that? Stell thought he was a good player. Did Stell get sucked in, did he? I didn't know that. Did Stell get sucked in by the banter?
Hang on a second. I'm just making a note of that one.
That's hilarious. Listen, sometimes you do get caught up in it. What's going on here?
Oh, I think it's a good window so far, and they've got plenty. Yeah, as I said, we're going to sell Neto. They'll sell Jackson. They'll probably sell. As I said, they've got 41 players. They'll probably make a profit in this window, Sean. So I think they'll have a very good window.
Do you think they're going to sell Pedro Neto?
I think they'll sell Enzo Fernandez, and I think they'll sell Neto, and they'll bring in Adam Walton.
Yeah. Yeah. You think they're going to sell? Okay, that's interesting. How much will Adam Walton cost, though? How much are they looking to get for Enzo?
I think they'll look to get like 110 mil, something like that. Something like that.
I think Enzo Fernandez is, for me personally, I think Enzo Fernandez is as good as Elliot Anderson, as good as other players. I think he's right up there. That clip of Sterl was all over Twitter when it happened, was it? I don't know. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
That's funny though. If you people get puffed in.
Goretzka's free if anyone wants him.
Yeah, great. I don't think we need Goretzka. We don't need.
No,
him.
we don't. We definitely
we'll go somewhere. So what we do? Ipswich, is it Ipswich next? Ipswich are next, I think. Oh, Coventry.
Yeah.
Is Coventry in my list here though?
Well, listen, they bought a lot of players in. I would be a liar. Taiwo Aweniyi from Forest, he'll do a job for them. Gustavo Hammer.
Yeah, they bought some players, haven't they?
Yeah.
Awoniyi's a fucking good player. 9 million quid, that's good business.
The top one.
I've got no idea who he is. Urenki.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I saw it. Was it Sweden? I saw something on him. I don't know if he's Swedish or Danish. I think Swedish. I saw something on him a couple of weeks ago. I couldn't tell you, but all I knew is he'd probably be their main person this year. Carl Rushworth, I don't really know him. Sherm might know him. Let's have a look. Carl Rushworth is a good keeper. Brighton Academy. Thanks very much. Sherm's the man if we want anything to do with Brighton.
Shermanator. Big up to you, Sherm. So that's 100.
Or if you need a good lawyer.
They spent about. Is he a lawyer? Is he?
Yeah.
They spent.
Trying to give you business, Sherm. Try my best, man.
Nice. They spent about 125 million. Well, they've received nothing in their outgoings.
No, they're taking a punt. I think they'll do very well to stay in the league this season.
I honestly, Siddiqui Sheriff is a very good player. At least I always thought he was. When he was in Turkey. He's been around the block. Don't know this guy. Don't know Rushworth, but I'll take your word on it, Sherm. Don't know Chawana. I'm not familiar with him.
I mean, 22 million for a goalkeeper.
I think 9 million for Awoniyi's good, mate. That guy was fantastic under Nuno at Forest.
Yeah,
really,
like
really
what
good.
I'm saying is they bought Carl Rushworth to Coventry for 22 million, and we're selling Vicario to Juventus for 8 mil.
Yeah, 100%. Should we put them in decent then? Because I don't know much of many of their players. We'll put them in, or maybe it's I don't know.
No, decent. I think it's just decent. Yeah, right. They bought players in. They spent money. That's the only reason it's going in decent. Awoniyi's always injured. That's true.
That's true. Yeah. All right, let's move on to next
Crystal
up
Palace,
is Crystal Palace. What have they done? Fuck all.
Yeah, they've not really backed the new manager. I think they are. I think they've done shit business so
he's
far.
He's never fit. Talk about always injured. Tommy Asu's career's done. Evan Gassand on loan is interesting. That's an interesting deal because I think Evan Gassand's got something about him. I think Crystal Palace might go down this year.
I think they're in trouble. They'll sell Walton, maybe Mateta, maybe an Ismail Sarr if he starts smelling blood. I think they've had
and their right back. If they sell their right back as well,
I think that they've had a very poor window. Yeah, shit show. Poor.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
What's going on with Parish then, mate? They're not buying anyone, not selling anyone. They won the fucking FA Cup and the Community Shield.
The manager's gone, mate. Do they have faith? They sold Brendan Johnson. That's a miracle.
They didn't sell him. They swapped him.
No, swapped him. That's good as anything.
When was the last time you saw a swap deal? By the way, Like a straight up swap. No money, just you take this bozo off our hands, and we'll take your bozo off your hands. It's a strange one. Anyway, let's move on. We'll talk about Palace.
I don't think they've done bad business, Everton. They've been very careful with their money because they don't have a lot.
Yeah,
right. So they've got Brendan Backdoor Johnson in. Christian Norgard had a falling out with Arteta because he complained about something. He's still good with his feet.
Merlin Roll's a good player. Tariq George from Chelsea was
he's all right. Hayden Hackney could be. Look, Hayden Hackney's a good player. It's just my concern is whether or not he has the pace and physicality for the Premier League. Hope I'm proved wrong, but for me, he was the bottom of the pile of that sort of talented midfield few.
They haven't really sold anybody either, have they? They haven't. Again, another team.
They've been clever. That's what I'm saying. They've had to be smart. It's okay. It's an okay window for them.
If you're an Evertonian right now, you're not sitting here looking and seeing an ambitious team.
But they got financial restrictions. Don't forget, they're governed by FFP, PSR. Probably.
I think Norgard is savvy for $7 million.
Yeah,
he was brilliant at Brentford. He was a brilliant player.
Yeah, I think he's a good player. He's a good player.
I think that's good business for both teams, Arsenal and for because he was free for Arsenal.
Hayden Hackney could be very good business. Tarek George, I'm not sure.
They still haven't got any strikers though, mate.
Well, Tarek George is sort of a striker, isn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, they haven't solved their striker crisis with Tarek George, have they?
No.
What are we saying then?
Well, I think it's
work to do.
Just decent. I think it's just decent for what they have. I don't think they've got a lot of money. I think they'll end up selling and die as well at some point. Poor to decent. I mean, what does everyone in the chat think?
Yeah, let's have a look at the chat. What's the chat saying?
See what they're saying. Finally, a good duo on this show.
Get on down. If you're watching on Spurs Talk Show and you don't like my other duos, Johnny's been a duo on my show and I've been a duo on Johnny's show. So I don't know what we're doing here. Alfred,
get on down to Football Inc. though. Football Inc. Get on down to Talking Tottenham 1882. If you are watching on this channel, get on down to my channel, Talking Tottenham 1882, and hit the sub button. 2 Jules.
Yeah, I'm not even giving them. I'm giving the occasional nod for the penny. Carl B says, Sean and Johnny, what do you think of Konza? Oh yeah, I think we spoke about it briefly, mate.
Yeah, it's a good deal for them. It's a good deal for Arsenal. Plugs a hole. That's what they do, and then they'll sell him on or sell someone else on. Listen, they bought Mascara for 13 million. I wanted Spurs to sign him. It was a quality like a monster. Yeah. I don't think Konza's left to go and sit on the bench, guys, by the way. I think he'll go
right now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Arsenal, because they're out because they've got no Saliba for months, and they've got one of their but they've only got 2 available right-sided defenders. So Konza now essentially comes in. He's definitely going to start for them, in my opinion, for the first couple of games. So
he was already in my fantasy football team.
I haven't done a fantasy football team. Let's move on to Fulham. I bet this is a pretty small list. Yeah, a lot of people leaving, but a lot of people, not me, but Gonzalo Garcia from Real Madrid for 34 million quid. Is that kid? Is that the kid that's coming? Gonzalo Garcia. Is that the one that we were talking about before, Johnny, years ago?
Yeah.
22 years old. He's the one who scored loads of fucking goals, right?
That's the one.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting. Gonzalo Garcia's gone to Fulham for... Oh, I'm not sharing it on the screen, my bad. Gonzalo Garcia for 34 million. That's a good bit of business. Shea Charles from Southampton, £30 million.
Well, there's another player who's gone for huge money.
He's the Northern Irish guy, isn't he? He's the midfielder.
Yeah.
Cesar Palacios from... Oh, look at them doing business with Real Madrid. Real Madrid's feeder club. Yeah, and Jonah Kuzi-Asare from Bayern Munich. Probably a child, probably a kid. I don't know much about him. What's that? 60 million, 77 million pound in incomings. That's going to be an interesting one. I actually think he might be a shout to put on your bench in fantasy. I think don't forget that name. I think he's going to do really well. I think it'd be. I liked him. I went and did a Weiss scout on him. I think we spoke about him last year a lot, didn't we, Johnny? And in the
Yeah.
Club World Cup, he had, was it a good Club World Cup he had? I think it was a great Club World Cup he had, right?
Yeah, he did. He did.
And then Sasa Lucic has gone to Ipswich. Issa Diop has gone to Ipswich. So they spent 75. They've recouped about 18. Losing Harry Wilson, though, big problem for them.
They probably get the Jockey Wilson version.
Where did Harry Wilson go? Oh, he's gone to Leeds, isn't he? Yeah,
Gone to Leeds.
That's a great bit of business. All right, what are we doing with regards? Where are we putting them? It's a quiet window, isn't it? But
yeah, it's a quiet window for them. Quiet window.
There then.
Definitely.
Or work to do, maybe work to do.
Work to do.
Yeah. Well, they won't do the work because they never do. Imagine being a fucking Fulham fan trying to create content. You might as well go on holiday in the summer. Just go. I'm going away for 2 months. I'm going to become a teacher. Hull. This is going to be interesting. What have Hull done?
Fucking hell. I mean, like,
Hull have done Joe Gelhart and Lucas Gornar Duath. Mate, they're fucked. They ain't bought anybody. In fact, they've actually raised more money. They sold Ivor Pandor to Rangers for 6 and Carl Joseph. They've raised 10 million quid and they've only spent 11 million quid. Yeah, Hull are going straight back down. Their chairman is here for the fucking cash.
Well, he's here for the cash cow, isn't he?
Shit
ass window. Absolute. I mean, he's not interested in. Yeah,
he can't believe that they've got themselves up there, and he is very much just saying, "Fuck it."
He's had a stroke of luck.
Yeah.
A massive stroke of luck. That was. I mean, they should never have been there. It was only Southampton's shithousery, really, that got them into this.
Yeah, Hull aren't doing anything. Spurs 6-6
shit show. Guys, by the way, in the chat, I've just dropped in my fantasy football league with the code there. If you hit that, that's my fantasy football league. Talking Tottenham 1882. Going to have prizes for that with the code. It's direct link. Get in there, join. They've got more and more people joining all the time. I think we're up to about 80 at the moment. Hopefully we get a few more in. Hull goes straight back down.
Yeah, Hull are done out here. Absolutely done out here.
Yeah.
All right,
he's not making any attempt, Sean.
No attempt at all, mate. No attempt at all. I actually, from what I know of Hull, I don't know a lot. They got some decent players. Nobel Mendy, I thought was pretty impressive from what I saw, from what I heard. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he was pretty impressive last season getting them up. And he's gone to Ray up. They sold half their decent players. They haven't actually disclosed what they're getting for these players. They probably sold more players for more money, mate. Because like the actual official data is. Oh, sorry, my bad. This player coming in, aren't they? Sorry, I'm talking absolute bollocks. Yeah. Let's move on anyway. Let's go to Ipswich transfers.
Well, they've done. Julio Enciso was probably the one that interested me because I thought it was going to be better than he's turned out to be so far. Be interesting to see how well he does there.
How did he do last season? Any idea? I know the name, but I don't follow French football.
Well, it was at Brighton, wasn't he, originally? I'm sure he was. Yeah, I think so. And then you got Fatwa. I don't know if he's got rid of his Fatwa.
Fatwa. Oh, I remember him. Abdul Fatwa. Yeah, I remember him.
Local boy.
He's gone to 20. He's gone from Leicester for 23 million. So how much of Ipswich have spent?
Spent decent money.
40, 50 million, 70 million, 80 million. They've got Dyson Maida.
Yeah, they've had a proper crack. They've brought in quite a few players.
Sasa Lucic as well. Issa Diop. Yeah, they've done all right, mate.
Yeah, they look like they're of the ones so far. You know, like last season, we said we thought Sunderland were well ahead of with everyone. Sunderland. Of anyone who spent money to come up, and I think they'll have a good season. And I I think we were proved right, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we were 100%.
The ex-Arsenal boy, I thought was the signing of the summer. But yeah, I think
Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They bought 14 players in, few of them undisclosed. Whatever the Chelsea deals are undisclosed for a lot of these kids. And then they probably spent on top of that 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 17. They spent 100. Okay, so Ipswich had a good window.
yeah,
Okay, so what are we saying then? Are we saying good window for Ipswich?
I think it's a very good window so far. I think it's a good win for where they are, and their status and just coming up. I think they've done really well in the window. They've done really well.
Okay, good window. Yeah,
yeah, I think it's a good window for them. Really good window, in fact, I would say.
All right then. Well done to Ipswich. Well done to Ipswich. Leeds. Back to Leeds. James Trafford. Did you see him doing? I think that's a fantastic move for him. I think he'll do well.
Mate, I think Harry Wilson's great business. Trafford's great business. They already had a decent.
Hemovich is a great business as well. What a player he could be.
Yeah, I think they've done. I think they've done good business. I think they had the basis of a good squad, and it's not how much business you've got. It's has the business that you're adding going to bring something to the table. Harry Wilson will definitely add something to go with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Trafford in goal is definitely a step up. So I think for what they need, they've done well. They got rid of Pascal, didn't they? So he's gone.
Good window.
Yeah, I think it's a decent window. I don't know if it's.
They've still got work to do for me, but
decent. I think it's decent. Don't you think? Not good, decent.
Yeah, okay. I don't mind. Yeah, that's fine. It's somewhere in that. It's somewhere between there. Somewhere between those two. I think. Yeah, we'll put it there. They've still got work to do. So, who else we got? Next up is Liverpool. Jeremy Jacquet. We knew that was coming in from last year. 60 bar. Victor Munoz from Osasuna.
Well, right now I think their business is pretty poor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I they've lost Robertson. They've lost Salah.
Konate.
Konate's gone. Quansa's not coming back. And where they stand at the moment, if we're doing it where they stand.
He could be a good. That's not a bad sign.
Yeah, Ronald Araujo. Yeah,
very good player. But I still think
if you speak to Barcelona, when you look at Barcelona fans, they're saying good luck.
Yeah, we'll put him in poor then so far. Yeah,
I think they're poor right now. I mean, they need to bring in their Barcolas. They need some signings desperately.
All right. Okay. Agreed. City. Anderson. I think they overpaid for him personally. Monga. Heard a lot about this kid.
Yeah, Leicester.
Don't know too much about him. I know he's a winger. He's got a lot of talent. Maybe that's a good one. 10 million quid. He's probably going to be sold for 70 or 80 in a year or two's time. Pierre Charles. Don't know. Geronimo Rulli from Marseille. Where do I know that name from? Geronimo Rulli. Is he the goalkeeper?
That's the cowboy movies you used to watch as a kid, mate. When he used to shout Geronimo.
Hang on. I'm sure Geronimo Rulli. Is he a goalkeeper? Yeah, he's an old. He's an old. He's 34. He's been around for fucking years. Yeah, 100%. He's joined them to sit on the bench, has he? Interesting.
I mean, look, they've not done bad. They've got like over 100 and something odd million back, so they haven't spent much money because they got most of that back. They've
not spent any money basically.
Yeah, so I think they will sell players, but I think. Ayubu Adi, they're going to buy Ayubu Adi, which is going to cost them 100 million euros. I reckon they'll buy Enzo Fernandez, which will cost them about 120 million. So that's 220 million. Plus, they're going to probably sell us Savinho and maybe Mamouche. They might sell us Mamouche as well.
Would you put them in work to do then? Because right now I'm teetering on poor, but if you want to put work to do, it's fine because they'll probably get these things in to recover.
Yeah,
I don't think they've had a great window at all. To be honest,
no.
I mean, if you're trying to close the gap on Arsenal and you've just lost Pep Guardiola, and all you're telling me that you brought in is Elliot Anderson and a kid from Leicester who hasn't proven himself yet, and a 34-year-old goalkeeper to sit on the bench, that to me is unimpressive in terms of incomings. They might have done all right business on the way out. James Trafford's decent money. Rodri's decent money. Ake, okay, great player, Nathan Ake. 8 million is not great. I think I'm either going to sit there. I'd argue it's a poor window so far.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, look, that window could change dramatically. Signing Ayub Buadi and Enzo Fernandez. So let's see what is. Monga's like 16 years of age, I think.
Yeah,
Arsenal thought he was in the bag.
You can't rely on him.
No.
Let's move on to but they lost Bernardo Silva as well. Got a lot to do. United so far. Andre Santos, the 5th choice central midfielder at Chelsea. Yuri Tillemans, the 3rd choice midfielder at Villa.
Well, if you speak to Arsenal fans, if you speak to Man United fans, they're fuming right now.
They are, yeah.
They're fuming. I think, Rasmus Højlund, it didn't work for them, but it's certainly working with Napoli. Huh?
How much do they pay for Højlund?
70 million, and he's doing very well at Roma. Maybe it's the way they were playing him. But right now, that is not going to satisfy that Man United fan base. Right now, that's work to do, in my opinion.
Nowhere near enough, is it, for them? If they have ambitions of trying to close the gap on...
Yeah. That's work to do. Massive work to do, I think.
Okay, work to do, yeah. You know what? I feel like the work to do thing can exist for everybody. I feel like maybe it's better to remove the work to do.
Poor. Just go poor, yeah.
So then on that basis, what are we saying with Fulham? Well, let's remove work to do entirely. Let's put Bournemouth in. Bournemouth is like decent. I think it was. We were there, but they haven't done anything. Fulham was probably decent. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that row, right? Just because everyone's got work to do. So let's just leave it. Let's just keep it that sort of simple. Is that fair? Bournemouth?
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And then Newcastle next.
Poor.
It's obvious it's poor, isn't it? But let's have
I mean, they've lost more. I mean, they bought players in. They bought Bamba Gascoigne in.
They spent a fucking lot of money, though. Look, they bought in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players, totaling...
He started for 10, no conferring.
That's nearly 80. That's 110, give or 105, 110. That's about 130 million, 150 million, 170. That's about 200 million quid's worth of incomings. And then where are they up to? 175. So 200. So their actually net spend is positive of 50 million quid by selling those 3 players.
Dom Solanke's been pictured by 2 balls on the grass. So everyone's beating one out at the moment.
What's that?
Dom Solanke, pictured on the grass.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I mean, as if that means anything. As if that means anything.
Yeah.
Solanke back in training. So, I mean, what does that actually mean? Could still break down. He doesn't mean he's going to score any goals. They've had a fantastic season as far as sales is concerned. Let's be serious.
Well, so it's that's 250 million quid. No, 245 million quid in sales and about 200 million quid of incomings. I don't really know any of these players.
I think they downgraded.
I think they have. I don't know Sean Stur. I don't know Lucas Horner.
I mean, you can't take Tonali, Guimaraes and Anthony Gordon out of that team and tell me that you've made yourself better. Sorry. No. Poor.
All right. Next up is Forest. They have only brought in...
Quite quiet.
Diomande. Great centre-back, though. Cracking centre-back.
Yeah, I think...
Don't know any of these people. They've gone
pop it up.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, my bad.
No, sorry.
Don't know any of these players.
Club Brugge.
That's it.
Grady McDowell. No doubt be a star.
Xavi Schlager. He's the Austrian player. He's all right. I don't know Grady McDonald.
Club Bruges.
Grady.
Mate, I think that's poor.
That's a poor window for them on the outgoings. So they've spent 35 and they've received 125. I know he's injured a lot, but I think that's better business for Coventry if they can keep him fit. I think that he's the sort of guy that can nick them.
There's
6 or
no
7
way
goals.
they're selling Morgan Gibbs White.
No.
With that squad, they've hardly added anything.
Yeah. I was supposed to speak to Wolfie. I have to ask him how he thinks. Usman is a good player, but
I think they will move late in the window. Gravy McDonald.
So what are we doing then? We're putting them in poor so far?
Poor, definitely poor.
Yeah. Sunderland. Thomas Meunier from Lille.
I can't see that.
Sorry. Ethan Berry. Adam Nelson.
Well, they spent all their money last window.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And I think they had a very, very good squad. They said they're not going to sell Granit Xhaka. So would you class it as poor? I think they've done their business, stayed up. So it's probably good business, but
I don't know. I feel like that was then. This is now. For me, I feel like Sunderland haven't done anywhere near enough. I'm going to put that in.
It's got to be poor.
Sunderland is poor. Right?
Yeah, it's got to be poor, but you can't keep spending probably. But they spent massive last summer, and there's a lot of players in that squad to get minutes. So,
of stability for if they can get away with staying up at like finishing 12th or 13th again, and then a bit more money comes in from the Premier League rights, all that sort of thing, and then go again next year. It's a year of stability.
It's consolidation, I think, with the squad they've got.
Exactly the word we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right, so we're putting them into poor.
Yeah.
And then the final team, mate, is our team. In terms of spend, it's 230 million quid, give or take 235 million, 237 million quid. Plus, we can't ignore these. And this guy, I think the best bit of business is him, to be honest, in terms of value. In terms of outgoings, I think which is where we start to look a little bit weird. These numbers aren't necessarily correct, though, because we don't think.
Best bit of business is Cole Ramsey. Did you say?
No, Senesi.
Oh, sorry.
I genuinely think Senesi is an absolute baller.
Yeah, he's top draw.
Where I will give absolute credit to whoever the ownership were to have gone out there and nailed him down before we even knew if we were secured in the Premier League. I think that is like the smartest and most like pat yourself on the back to have got that done. I know it was pending our survival, but to have got it done, I think that is far more impressive than Andy Robertson and more impressive than Dubravka. And in terms of these guys, it comes down to whether or not you care that we overspent. But with Marcus Senesi, I think that he's a £50 million centre-back that we got for free. So for me, I think it's brilliant. Brilliant.
For me, I think this is a good window from the point of view that we have only spent £49 million or £52 million just now, and we bought in a lot of players, got rid of a lot of players, although there's a lot of work to do. I think it's got to be just above decent.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's good business because that goes up to like 15, doesn't it, or something? Alfie Devine, if he does well. I'm interested to see how Mason Melia does on loan at Lincoln. What league is Lincoln in, by the way?
League One, isn't it? League One.
Lincoln City is
Championship.
The Championship. Okay.
Yeah, Lincoln away, LA. Remember?
Yeah. Okay, so they clearly think that Mason Melia is ready for.
If we buy a striker and a winger, this is our best window in many, many years.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
So we'll put them in good window then so far, yeah?
Yeah, so up there with Arsenal, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So everyone's complaining. Bearing in mind this is a thus far window, thus far conversation. Everyone's complaining, but I don't think that anyone is outstandingly better than Tottenham. And there's probably 15 or 16 teams that you could argue that have had that the fan bases of those teams would be more frustrated than
for their especially Man United, Villa, probably Newcastle, lost a lot of players. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. Great stuff. Guys, don't forget to hit the follow button. Sorry, the subscribe button if you're following on Spurs Talk Show. And if you get a chance to flip over, have you got an Elements for me? A link?
An Elements? What's an Element?
Not Elements. For mine.
Oh no, I haven't.
Okay,
it still says Spurs 5, I think, on there. So
Spurs 5, does it say? Oh,
I haven't updated it since we changed the channel. It's probably on this number.
Okay,
We've even got Football Inc. still in there. Oh yeah, there's the Spurs 5. If you click on that link, it will take you to Talking Tottenham anyway, I believe. But yeah, guys, big up to everyone. I haven't changed those things for ages. That was months ago. Big up
this is the fantasy football. If you want to do this, guys, come and join me in the fantasy football. The league code, the code is there at the end. The login code right at the end there. So come and join us for that. Joel, it's been a pleasure.
Big up to you. Big up to quickly Stephen Schulberg for the 1,000 jewels. Big up to you for the 1,000 jewels. Johnny's monetization will be back very soon. Big up to you, Stephen. Thank you very much. Very generous. And yeah, guys, we'll be back before the start of the season. Can't wait to see you all. Don't forget to get onto the Spurs Hub and to make sure you participate in Johnny's league and my league and participate in all the games over there. Johnny, what's coming up when you're next doing some live streams, mate?
Probably do a live. We'll definitely be doing a live tomorrow night. So come and join me there. And then obviously I'll be at the Brentford game on the weekend. So I'll be doing my match report before and after. Hopefully I'll come out smiling and it'll be the start of a happy season for us. I expect us to be an up and down season. Like, you know, it's going to take time to gather momentum. I think a lot of people are expecting us, Brentford and Newcastle, it's not a bad start. It's not an easy start, that.
No, it's not. What would you take out of Brentford and Newcastle?
4 points. Be delighted.
What about 3 points?
The way things are, I think Brentford are ahead of us.
What about 2 points?
No, wouldn't be happy with 2 points. I think Brentford are ahead of us. Now they've got most of their team there. I think they're ahead of us at the moment. And I think
so a draw away at Brentford, you're taking and running with it, yeah?
Yeah, I'll be happy with a draw and a win against Newcastle at home. That's what I expected. Minimum of 4 points. But it's going to be a tricky start, mate. Tricky start. I'm happy we've got Charlton midweek. I actually can't go to the game, but I'm happy we got Charlton because it's going to give a chance for players like Maddison, maybe Solanke, maybe Kudos, some of the kids to get minutes, Williams Barnett to get some minutes and see what they've got in these sort of games. They're crucial to us right now. We need to stay in line. But come on, we need some signings. Let's get the Bombers over the line. Take care, everybody.
See you guys.
See you soon. Bye for now.